Everyone, and welcome to the Big A in Anaheim, where this afternoon the Minnesota Twins take on the California Angels. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Kurtz, along with Harmon Killebrew. And Harmon, much like the storyline we had out here last night, this afternoon Rod Carew goes after number 3,000.
Talked to Rod prior to the game today, and he said he hopes he gets it today. He'd like to get it over with and get that 3,000 behind him. A good chance that he might get it somehow today.
Well, he almost got it last night, but Ron Washington went back and made an over-the-shoulder catch.
Well, he was talking about that, but he did say he'd like to get a solid base hit. I said, don't bunt the ball for number 3,000. I don't know what he's going to do, but he may get it.
Well, he has a left-hander going. The Twins will be throwing Frank Viola, but left-handed pitching has never bothered Rod Carew.
It never really has over the years. Rod has hit left-handers just as well as he has right-handers, and he's had a pretty good record against Viola this year and in previous years.
Speaking of Viola, he's 2 for 4 against Frank this season, 7 for 17 in his career, so I don't think that has any real bearing. Carew against Frank Viola. John Candelario will be starting this afternoon for California, making his American League debut.
Making his American League debut, and he's out of the bullpen now. Pittsburgh had him in the bullpen. He'll be making a start for the first time in a long, long time. It'll be interesting to see how far he can go. The most he's pitched this year has been 3 innings.
Sort of an interesting afternoon coming up.
Well, it should be a great day for baseball.
So stay with us as this afternoon's broadcast comes your way from the Big A here in Anaheim.
Ladies and gentlemen, players for today's game. At home plate is Larry Young. At first base, Ted Henry. At second base, Nick Bremigan. And at third base, Dan Morrison.
Hello, there you are.
Hey.
Hi, Phil. Now you know why you tape the opens? Listen, when you get burned 37 times a year. Are you going to show anything from last night or not?
Ladies and gentlemen,
okay.
Presenting your California Angels.
Yeah.
First baseman,
Okay.
You hear each other all right?
Yeah, just make sure that we, that we're there when he bats. Yes, sir.
Stand by.
third baseman, Doug DeCinces. The left fielder, Juan Benitez.
Hi again, everybody. Harmon Killebrew, Bob Kurtz from the Big A in California, where the Twins are set to take on the first place Angels. It's the third game of a 3-game series. Let's give you the batting order and starting lineup for Ray Miller and the Minnesota Twins today. Leading off playing center field, Kirby Puckett. Ron Washington back at shortstop, hitting second. Hitting third, the first baseman, Kent Herbeck. Tom Brunansky in right field will hit fourth. The DH today back in the lineup, Mickey Hatcher. He'll hit fifth. Hitting sixth, the catcher, Dave Engel. Gary Gaetti at third base, hitting seventh. Hitting eighth, the second baseman, Tim Tuffle. And the ninth place hitter, Dave Meyer in left field. Let's set up the Angels defensively for you. Rod Carew, there he is, looking for number 3,000 today. Whether you're an Angel fan or just what kind of a fan you are, you're going to like watching Rod today, see what he does. At second base, Bobby Grich. At shortstop, Dick Schofield. And over at third base, the hero of last night's ball game, he hit a home run to beat the Twins, Doug DeCinces. In left field, it'll be Juan Benitez. Gary Pettis is back in center field after an injury. George Hendrick, the acquired outfielder from Pittsburgh, in right field. And Bob Boone, the veteran, behind the plate. And on the mound, another new acquisition of the California Angels, John Candelario, making his first start in the American League. He's set to go, and here's my partner, Bob Kurtz.
Okay, thanks, Harmon. All set here on a Sunday afternoon, a warm one in Anaheim, California, as the Twins send up Kirby Puckett, Ron Washington, and Ken Herbeck. against the Candyman, John Candelaria. Breaking pitch wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Candelaria 2-4 thus far this year, all of it in relief with the Pittsburgh Pirates. His longest outing of the year was 3 innings. The Pirates made him a relief pitcher this year. Candelaria was not too happy with the role and feels like he has really been released from a bad situation, not only escaping Pittsburgh, but also escaping the bullpen. He is known as a control pitcher. Balls behind Puckett, 2 balls and no strikes. Kirby was 0 for 5 last night and 0 for 4 in the series opener on Friday evening. Fouled back by Puckett, 2 balls and a strike. The last start for Candelaria was in a losing effort back on September the 15th of last year. He lost 8-3 to the St. Louis Cardinals. He has won 124 games in his big league career. Line by Puckett to right field. Hendrick goes over, makes the play, and there's 1 out here in the first inning for the Twins. KMSP Television has purchased the broadcast rights of the Twins games for the pleasure of you, the viewing audience. No broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction of this copyrighted telecast is permitted without the written authority of the Twins or KMSP TV. Looked like Ozzie Washington last night. Played a fine game in the field. Picked up a couple of hits in 5 trips. And gets the starting call again this afternoon as he pops it up. Hendrick battling the sun in right field, and there are 2 gone. Harmon and I talking before the ball game, and you get the addition of Hendrick, the addition of Candelaria. Holland looked great last night. Starts to look like an awfully good ball club here in California.
Well, they do, and as we had talked before, Bob, one of the problems with the Angels was their depth. You've got a few older players on this club, and you think maybe with a few injuries they might have some problems. Now they've got some extra players that they can use, and they do look like an exceptionally good ball club right now.
Here's Ken Hrbek. Checks his swing and fouls it back behind the plate. I don't think anybody, even the detractors, knocked the California talent. There's plenty of talent on this ball club.
That's right.
The question was, would they hold up? There is so much age with Carew and Grich, DeSensei, Reggie Jackson, Jeff Zahn, Tommy John at the time back at the beginning of the year. Bob Boone behind the plate is 37 years old as Hrbek swings and misses. Twins coaches at first base today, Tony Oliva on the right side of your screen, and there's Tom Kelly on the left side coaching over at third. 2 strikes to Hrbek. Hrbek with a couple of hits in 5 trips last night, including his 14th home run of the season. Skips that one back, and the count still remains 2 strikes on Hrbek, who's hitting .248 with 14 round trippers and 58 runs batted in. Twins start the day 46-55. 12 games now behind the front-running Angels. As Candelaria strikes out Hrbek, so we go to the bottom of the first. 0-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the president of the American League, the California Angels, and the Minnesota Twins request your cooperation in refraining from throwing any objects in the stands or on the playing field, and from interfering with any ball in play. Fans are also requested to remain in the stands throughout the game. Any violators of these rules will be subject to prosecution. The Angels are happy for you to keep any ball thrown or hit into the stands as a souvenir. However, we remind you, any bat thrown, a ball hit, or thrown into the stands can be dangerous.
15 seconds.
Please be alert at all times. Thank you, and let's all enjoy today's game.
Well, the Twins were set down in order by John Candelaria in their half of the first inning, 1-2-3. The Angels coming to bat. Let's give you the batting order for Gene Mauch and the Angels today. Leading off, the DH, Brian Downing, who's hit in 6 straight ball games. Rod Carew, as we've told you, going after hit number 3,000. He has 2,999. Hitting in the third slot today, a guy that's been hitting Viola very, very well. He has a 389 lifetime batting average against Viola. Hitting third. Hitting fourth at third base, Doug DeCinces. He was a hero last night. Hit a 2-run shot in the ninth inning to win the ball game for the Angels. Hitting fifth, the right fielder, George Hendrick, just acquired from Pittsburgh. Hitting sixth, the left fielder, Juan Beniquez. Gary Pettis back at center field will hit seventh. Bob Boone, the catcher, hitting eighth. And hitting ninth, the shortstop, Dick Schofield. Defensively for the Twins, at first base, Kent Herbeck. Tim Tuffle at second base. Ron Washington, as Bob told you, did an excellent job defensively last night at short. He's back there again today. Over at third base, Gary Gaetti. The outfield, it'll be Dave Meyer in left field. Kirby Puckett in center. Tom Brunansky in right field. And Dave Engel will catch. And pitching today for the Twins, Frank Viola, record 10 wins, 9 losses, 4.48 ERA. This is his 23rd appearance of the year, his 23rd start. He has 3 complete ball games. And Frank this year against the Angels, 1-0.
Well, been a disappointing year for Viola. His ERA is well up over a run a game, probably more than a run a game from a year ago. He comes in with a 4.48 ERA. His last outing Monday in Seattle, he was no decision in the Mariners' 8-6 win. Nunez got the win. Euphemia took the loss. That was the starting game of this 9-game swing out west. You can see it is a bright, sunny afternoon here at the Big A in Anaheim. Brian Downing to lead it off, followed by Rod Carew and then Bobby Grich. Downing was the left fielder last night. He is the designated hitter this afternoon. He went 1 for 3 in last night's ball game after picking up a pair of hits out here on Friday evening, including his 11th home run of the season. 1 ball to no strikes to Downing. There's some theories on the Minnesota coaching staff that the acquisition of Blyleven will make Viola a better pitcher. That he now has a veteran to watch. He also, it sort of takes the tag ace of the staff off of Frank. He doesn't feel he has to be the anchor of the starting staff when you got a guy like Blyleven, who obviously at 34 years of age will be able to, I think, handle that a little bit better.
I think Viola will certainly learn a lot from Bert Blyleven. He knows how to pitch, and certainly can help all these young pitchers. Not only that, but I think he'll help the whole ball club. Bert's a leader.
Bert wasn't too happy last night. Pitched a great ball game, made a couple of bad pitches. Blyleven would tell you. There's Washington at shortstop. Over to Herbeck, and there's one going. And here comes Carew. Very special feeling, Harmon.
Well, as I said, Bob, whether you're an Angel fan or not, this is a very special moment because you very rarely ever get a chance to see someone get 3,000 hits. And we may have that opportunity right here today.
That feels special for you watching a former teammate of yours who will undoubtedly join you in the Hall of Fame when his career is over. One ball and no strikes.
Well, as I mentioned last night, I saw him get his first hit in the big leagues. I'd like to see him get his 3,000th. I saw a lot of them in between, I'll tell you that.
1 ball and 1 strike. Larry Young, the plate umpire. Ted Hendry at first. Nick Bremigan at second. Dan Morrison, the umpire, at third. Two balls and a strike to Carew. Ground ball, flagged down by Viola. Not this time, as Viola over to Herbeck, and there's 2 gone.
Batting third, number
So Carew has now failed twice in the attempt to pick up number 3,000. He has been on a tear of late, Carew has. He has now, coming into the game this afternoon, he had 6 base hits in his last 12 trips. Here's the second baseman, Bobby Grich. Angels at 59 and 44. 15 games over 500 and a 3-game lead over the Kansas City Royals starting play this afternoon. 3 up on the Royals, 5 up on the A's, 6.5 ahead of the White Sox, 10 ahead of Seattle. The Twins are a dozen back, and then Texas 20 games off the pace. One ball and 1 strike to Bobby Grich. Grich keeps the inning alive. We'll get a look at the hero last night, Doug DeCense, here in the first. If not, DeCense will lead off the second. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some of the amateur umpires behind the plate disagreeing with the call by Larry Young. Two and 2 to Grich. Bobby Knopp, the first base coach for California. Old Moose Stubing, young Moose Stubing, over third. Great name.
That is.
Checks his swing right back to Viola, and the Angels go out in order in the bottom of the first after 1 were scoreless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Great Portrait Series continues on Sunday, August 18th, with a lifelike drawing of Frank Tanana. This full-color principal portrait will be presented in the first 25,000 minutes from compliments of Phillies Magic 167 and Stride Restaurants. Next Sunday, August 25th, Rod Carew's portrait will be distributed. So make your plans now to join us in the Yankees remaining home Sunday and your Collector's Portrait Series. Thank you.
Do you have a copy of the standings now?
I have a copy
Okay.
of the Los Angeles Times.
All right, I gave them the local here. We'll be doing it at the end of the second after the break, so just coordinate. I won't throw the whole paper at you. Is the effects level all right?
I'm fine.
Okay. 1 minute, Tess.
How much room do you have for me this winter, Sally? Do you have an extra bed or not? Where at? An extra bedroom or is the couch full now? Bunk bed.
30 seconds.
Well, if I can golf, I know where I'm going. New set of clubs. Tell you a new swing.
I'll sell you mine.
You're retiring, huh?
I never get to play. I might as well.
15 seconds.
Tom Brunansky.
Here come the Twins now, top half the second inning. Brunansky looks at 1 wide, 1 ball to no strikes to Bruno. He went 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. Bruno has tailed off a bit since that big start as he looks at ball 2 right at his knees. 2-0. Brunansky hitting .255, 19 home runs. That's tops on the Twins club and 60 runs batted in. Got off to a tremendous start this year. Brunansky normally a very strong finisher, so he's hoping that if there is not a player's strike, he can add some big numbers down the final week of the year as he slams that one foul down the left field line. Final weeks of the year. Twins looking for a strong close now. They've added Blyleven, still the rumors surrounding the signing of Steve Howe. Brunansky hits it high in the air, deep to left center field. In the ballpark, however, as the center fielder Pettis goes over and makes the play. 1 up and 1 gone for the Twins here in the second inning. Seems like so many of the power hitters, Harmon, are streak hitters. Gorman Thomas in Seattle seems to go in streaks. Bernansky?
Well, I think almost all hitters are streak hitters, Bob, and particularly a guy that takes a big swing is going to be more streaky than somebody that takes a shorter, quicker swing.
Hatcher getting back in the lineup here as the designated hitter.
I was asking Ralph Kiner one time how many games in a row he had it all put together. You know, I thought he expected him to say a lot of ball games. He said about 4 or 5 is about all.
Hatcher with a swing and a miss. Story on Hatcher's interesting too. He did not exactly slip in the shower, he said. What he did is he was walking along out of the shower and his right foot, as it will sometimes, slips out in front of you. You remember how you do that? And he felt something snap and thought it was his entire back, and apparently it just snapped everything back into place. It did not fall down or anything like that. Goes down here, however, as he goes around. Has a few words for plate umpire Larry Young, but he'll head back to the dugout.
Well, it goes the second strikeout for John Candelaria. Tried to hold up. I think he held up.
Larry Young didn't, and that's the one apparently that counts.
It's the only one that counts. Kind of slings the ball, doesn't he?
It's interesting. An interesting delivery.
He's a big guy. Whoa.
6'7", 250 pounds. As he pops Engel up, Doug DeSense, fighting the sun, lost the ball. Is behind the dugout anyway. And the count 1 ball to 1 strike. You're talking about Candelaria. His parents are Puerto Rican. And before he signed a professional baseball contract, he had a chance to play for the Puerto Rican national basketball team because of his size, 6'7". Been a very tough year for Candelaria, not only the Pittsburgh situation, but on the personal side with his young son in a coma after falling in the swimming pool on Christmas Day at his home in Sarasota. So he's had to pitch with that all year. Plus the gloom of Pittsburgh. And the Pirates have certainly had a tough year. Plus he wasn't happy being in the bullpen. He would rather be in the starting rotation, and he had pretty much a running battle with the management of the Pirate Ball Club. Broken bat. Schofield at shortstop throws Engel out as the Twins go down in order here in the top of the second. We're scoreless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Angels would like to take this opportunity to extend a very special thank you to our good friends from Ostermeyer, makers of quality foods, for their sponsorship of today's home plate serving train promotion. How about a big A welcome to all the nice folks from Ostermeyer for making this promotion possible.
Seconds.
Batting fourth, number 11, third baseman, Doug DeSense.
Bob Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at the Big A in Anaheim. Angels coming to bat bottom half of the second inning. They'll be sending up Doug DeSensei, George Hendrick, and Juan Beniquez. Scoreless ball game. DeSensei, of course, the hitting hero last night. His one-out home run in the bottom of the 9th inning gave the Angels a 5-4 decision over the Twins and Bert Blyleven.
And a shocker.
Drives this one, flagged down by Tuffle. Sensei made a bid for right center field, but Tuffle plucked it out of the air.
Looked like it was going to be a sure base hit, a curveball by Viola, and then perfectly timed jump by Tuffle to make the out.
Big press conference here at Anaheim. John Candelaria, Al Holland saying how happy they were to be in Anaheim playing for the Angels. George Hendrick does not speak. But they, his two new teammates said that they thought George was happy to be here.
I spoke to George yesterday. He is happy to be here.
Does not talk to reporters. One ball and 2 strikes the count to Hendrick. Slow breaking ball fouled at the plate. One ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Hendrick, no stranger to the American League. He actually started his career with Oakland, went to Cleveland for several years before he went to the National League.
Goes down swinging. Faced what looked to be a pitch out of the strike zone. First strikeout of the day for Viola. Viola's retired all 5 Angels. Candelaria has retired all 6 Twins that he's faced thus far. Bases empty, 2 outs for the Angels, bottom of the second, and Juan Beniquez, the left fielder, will bat. Beniquez played center for the Angels last night. Drops a bunt down the third baseline. It's a good one. Gaetti with no play, and Beniquez has the first hit of the ball game.
Now, just an excellent bunt by Juan Beniquez. He dropped it just inside the line, down the third baseline, and no chance for Gaetti.
So Beniquez gives the Angels a base runner with 2 outs here in the second. Gary Pettis bats, the center fielder. Line drive right at Tuffle, and that retires the side. So after 2, the Twins nothing, the Angels nothing.
Okay.
10 seconds, stand by.
Okay. Well, here's the standings in the American League. Let's give you the West first. The California Angels with a 3-game bulge over Kansas City. Then come the Oakland A's 5 games out. Chicago 6.5, Seattle 10, the Twins 12 now, and dragging up the rear, the Texas Rangers 20 games behind. Now the Eastern Division standings of the American League. Toronto is out on top. We'll give you those later.
Toronto's out on top by a good margin, 9.5 games ahead of the Yankees. And speaking of the Yankees, 1-0. New York leads Chicago in the 5th inning. Tom Seaver is still pitching in that ball game. Seaver going after number 300 in New York today, as Gary Gaetti leads off for the Twins here in the top of the 3rd. They were saying a couple of years ago in St. Louis, when Steve Carlton was going after his 300th, there was a media entourage of about 30. Carlton and the media, most of you fans are probably aware, do not get along. This afternoon, there are over 400 on hand in New York City. Combination of Seaver being a very popular figure, the fact that it's ironic he's going after it in New York, and the fact that it is New York, which seems to triple everything when you talk about media attention. 2 balls and a strike to Gaetti. Foul back, 2-2. Seaver will become, if he gets it, just the 5th man in the last 30 years to accomplish that feat.
Oh, he's a pleasure to watch pitch, isn't he?
Gaetti grounds it to shortstop. Nice play by Schofield. Plants, throws, he got him. What a play.
Oh, you got to take a look at that one again. Just an excellent play on a curveball. Gaetti hit very well to Schofield's right. Came up with it, and a good strong throw to Carew to get him at first.
So 1 up and 1 gone for the Twins here in the 3rd inning, and here's the second baseman, Tim Tuffle. We'll talk about Tom Seaver being the consummate pitcher. He does everything you want a pitcher to do. He's got the proper mechanics. He's got the proper attitude. He knows what he's doing. Has the right assortment of pitches. Knows what to do with them.
Tom, terrific.
Said he's not as quick. Doesn't have quite the lightning in his arm that he had a couple of years ago. But he says it's more satisfying to pitch now, because he relies on 19 years of experience. 3 balls and no strikes to count on Tuffle. Other American League scores. Texas beat Toronto this afternoon by a score of 8-4. Cool off the Jays just a bit. Tuffle draws the free pass. That's the first base runner for the Twins this afternoon against the Candyman.
Batting 9, number 7.
Tuffle at first with 1 out, and the left fielder Dave Meyer comes up. Baltimore losing to Cleveland 7-5. Sorry, that's Baltimore beating Cleveland 5-4 is the final score. Kurt Wardle won a ball game for the Indians yesterday. Went 7 innings. 1 ball and no strikes. The count to Dave Meyer. Boston 2, Kansas City 2. They're in the 6th inning. Seattle and Oakland are scoreless in the 1st. One ball, 1 strike to Dave Meyer. Twins and Angels scoreless. We're in the top of the 3rd on a sunny Sunday afternoon in Anaheim. Two balls and a strike to Meyer. Dave hitting just 186 on the year. No homers and 2 runs batted in. Product to Stanford. Ground ball pass to Sensei into left field for a base hit. Tuffle trying to move it over to 3rd and will. And the Twins have runners at 1st and 3rd now with 1 out, and we go to the top of the order in Kirby Puckett.
Well, a hit and run was on. Gary Gaetti off with the pitch, or Tim Tuffle off with the pitch. And he hit it in the hole. You really don't have to hit it to the other side of the infield. It try to hit the ball hard somewhere, and that's what Dave Meyer did.
That's the first hit of the ball game for the Twins. They have 2 on with 1 out, and a guy who has struggled this series, Kirby Puckett. Puckett is 0 for 10 so far against the Angels this weekend here in Anaheim. Kirby's average has dropped now to 273. Candelaria with a fastball, and it's fouled down the right field line by Puckett. 1 strike. Kirby hitting 273, 3 homers on the year, and 50 runs batted in. But it's rare to see him struggle in this ballpark. He has performed so well here every time he has been here prior to this series. Hits this one in the air to left field. Beniquez going back on the warning track, makes the catch. Tagging at third and coming home is Tuffle, who will score on the sacrifice fly, and that'll give the Twins a 1-0 lead. Puckett picking up his 51st RBI of the year with a sacrifice fly to left field. Meyer at first base now with 2 outs, and the shortstop Ron Washington will bat. High fly ball right field. George Hendrick. And the Twins are retired in the 3rd, but they score 1, and after 2.5 lead the Angels 1-0.
Attention all you Angels fans. If you want to see a pregame chock full of fun and surprises, plan to be here on Sunday, August 25th, when the Angels players take on their children in pregame festivities. Last year's Players Family Game provided a lot of good-natured fun and some rather unusual baseball. So be sure to jot down the date, Sunday, August 25th. The Angels host the defending world champion Detroit Tigers and plan to be here early for the annual Players Family Game. Do your ticket shopping now. Thank you. Batting 8, number 8, the catcher, Bob Boone.
Stand by at the end of the next half.
Bob Boone leads it off for the California Angels here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Bob Boone, the number 8 hitter, Dick Schofield, the shortstop, the number 9 man in Gene Mauch's lineup, and then back to the top of the order, and the designated hitter, Brian Downing. 2 balls and a strike now, the count on Boone. Boone hitting at 246 on the year, 4 homers and 32 runs batted in. The Angel player representative, very astute young man. Very good leader for this ball club, and an excellent catcher.
All those things.
Takes the job, his role as player representative very seriously, and seems to be a very good one. Pitch missing inside. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count on Boone. His dad, of course, Ray Boone, the former American leaguer, spent the bulk of his career with the Cleveland Indians and the Detroit Tigers. Rounds it foul over to the California dugout, so the count remains full on Boone at 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's Donnie Moore. They're calling him the guardian angel here.
Boy, what a job he's done. One of the #1 reasons they're in first place.
Fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Brunansky. Makes the catch in fair territory for the first out here in the Angel third.
Well, he was fighting the sun, too, all the way on this one. He lost his cap and did an excellent job of hauling that one in.
So 1 up and 1 gone here in the third for California. Here's the shortstop, Dick Schofield. Good fielding shortstop. You saw a nifty play he made last inning on Gary Gaetti to throw Gaetti out at third base. Pops this one foul back behind the plate. And the count on Schofield, 1 ball and 1 strike. 186 average. But he has hit 7 home runs.
Yeah, he's got a little power.
Mentioned during the game last night, there's some observers that thinks maybe he thinking too much of power and ought to concentrate a little bit more on being a contact hitter. Certainly made a great play on Gaetti back in the third inning. Fouls this one back, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Schofield. What kind of hitter was his dad?
Not a bad little hitter. Good infielder, like Dick is. And yeah, he was a good little hitter. Ducky Schofield.
Little Ducky here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's fouled back into the upper deck. Twins 1, the Angels nothing. We're in the bottom of the third. Twins got their run in the top half of the inning. A walk to Tuffle, a single by Meyer, and a sacrifice fly by Kirby Puckett. Viola, a quick worker, comes in at 2-2 and misses, and the count on the second straight batter this inning will go full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Frank Viola, 10-9 on the year, 1-0 against the Angels. He beat the Angels here at the Big A on opening night. Schofield hits it deep to left field. Back goes Meyer. It's going. It's gone. A home run for Dick Schofield. That is number 8 on the year. So the solo shot by Schofield ties the ball game 1-1.
Kind of the ball club they've been having all year. One guy doesn't do it all the time. They kind of spread it around, and this time Schofield does his job.
Big wave from Donnie Moore as Brian Downing looks at one down and in. In addition to tying the ball game, what the home run by Schofield means is that Rod Carew will bat again here in the third inning. Making his second shot of the day at hit number 3,000. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Brian Downing, who grounded out to shortstop back in the first inning. Downing hitting .243 with 11 home runs and 47 runs batted in. Say a big hello to Brad Buto, former Gopher hockey coach. He's being honored today with a big dinner back in the Twin Cities, prior to departing Minnesota for a little bit from here, San Diego, United States International University, just down the road, trying to build up that hockey program. So a walk to Downing. And here comes Carew.
Boy, look at him.
The hitter extraordinaire goes after number 3,000. American League's most valuable player, while a member of the Minnesota Twins. Skips away from Engel, goes back to the screen. Downing will take second base. There'll be a wild pitch charged to Viola.
Now another look at that pitch by Viola. Engel tried to block it, skipped away from him, and hit that play behind the plate. And a wild pitch. Downing on second. One out, Carew at the plate.
Rodney Cline Carew, 39 years old. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Carew. Broke in with the Twins back in 1967. His big year was 77, the year he hit .388 and was the most valuable player. There's a drive to left field, base hit. There's number 3,000 for Carew. So Carew has joined the illustrious 3,000 hit club.
3,000 for Rod Carew, and his teammates are coming out on the field to congratulate him.
Longtime manager Gene Mauch.
How about that? I never seen anything like it. Standing ovation from everybody in the ballpark.
Boy, his stomach's churning, heart beating in it. Some great names in the 3,000 hit club. Ty Cobb, Pete Rose, Henry Aaron, Stan Musial, Trice Speaker. As you look at Carew getting the base hit, Honus Wagner, Carl Yastrzemski, Eddie Collins, Willie Mays, Cap Anson, Lou Brock, Al Kaline, and Roberto Clemente, and now Rod Carew. What are you thinking? You were there to see number 1, you're here to see number 3,000. Harmon all choked up. That's amazing, isn't it? Think about the 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, or 300 victories that Seaver's trying for this afternoon. It's excellence over a long period of time. Consistency year in and year out. And I think that's what makes it so special. Frank Viola had gone to the Twins dugout during all the celebration. Now he'll have to return.
Girls and boys, the Angels and Orange Coast Magazine will present the first 35,000 fans a Rod Carew 3,000 hit commemorative poster here on Friday night, August 16th, when the club hosts.
So Viola will get a few more warm-up tosses now as we resume the ball game. Downing is at third base, Rod Carew at first, 1 out. The Angels have tied the ball game here in the bottom of the third at 1-1. And we have tentatively lined up Carew to be talking with you, Harmon, after the ball game.
Yeah, we'll talk to Rod after the ball game. He said he'd be happy to. I can talk now. What an experience.
To see him when he broke in and be with, all the years that you were teammates.
Well, I guess Roberto Clemente is the next one he's going to pass on the list.
Now Roberto right at 3,000 even. As Gritch fouls it back. One strike to count to Bobby Gritch.
That'll be Clemente, then Al Kaline, Lou Brock.
Carew, the 16th man to reach the 3,000 hit plateau. The greatest names in the game. Gritch grounds at the shortstop, could be two. There's one at second, back to first, a double play, and that ends the Angels' uprising here in the third. After three, the Twins won, the Angels won.
Gentlemen, continuing in our celebration of Rod Carew's 3,000th career hit, we call your attention to the Angels on-deck circle. Here is the chairman of the board of the California Angels, Gene Autry.
You getting this on tape, Phil?
I want to congratulate you on your 3,000th hit. Believe me, that's a great honor to have you in an Angel uniform when you got it, and it's quite a thing for you to hit it against the first club that you played for, the major leagues. Congratulations to you. And don't stop at 3,000. Get another 1,000 with it.
Thanks very much.
Rod Carew and Gene Autry will join that.
Now I can go back. Now I can sleep at nights. But I think the most important thing is that after so many years, it's a very emotional thing for me, and starting out with the Twins and getting the base hits against the Twins, I was just only happy that I could do it here so that you fans could enjoy it. Thanks very much.
Rod Carew, newest member of the 3,000 hit club, and to call the play-by-play now and turn it over to a member of the equally famous 500 home run club. Here's Harmon Killebrew.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. A very emotional thing to see Rod Carew get his 3,000 hit. Media people from all over the country, not just in this area, but all over the country. We have some from the Twin Cities, and I'm sure you'll be getting more coverage in that area. So Rod with 3,000 hits now. Tony Oliva over there, 10 American League batting championships at first base. Let's take another look at the hit by Carew. And it was a typical Rod Carew base hit. He went the other way with it. A single to left field, number 3,000. Oh, there he is. He's done it. He says he can sleep at nights now, and he's glad it's over with.
Well, you have Carew doing his thing on the West Coast, and on the East Coast, they're now in the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium. It is 1-0. The Yankees over Chicago as Tom Seaver makes a bid for number 300.
So we got a lot of things happening here at the old ballpark today. And we've got a barn burner going here in this ball game, a 1-1 tie. And Kent Herbeck will get the first crack to untie it. He'll be followed by Tom Brunansky and then Mickey Hatcher. Herbeck, his first time up, went down swinging against Candelaria. Twins just one hit off the Candyman so far. There's a strike. Candelaria has struck out 2 and walked 1. And given up a single to Dave Meyer. Fastball that misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Herbeck hit his 14th home run of the year last night, but the Twins lost it in the 9th when Doug DeCinces hit a big home run for him. There's a kind of a 3/4 arm slingshot. Got to be tough for a left-hand hitter to face this guy. And it's 3 balls and a strike now to Herbeck. You have to give you that tendency to want to move away from the plate when he starts that big arm coming in. And now 3-2 to Herbeck. 6'7", 250 pounds. That's what they have him listed at, but he looks much bigger than that.
Big kid.
31 years old. He's got a lot of years left. Check swing by Herbeck, and the count holds at 3-2. Well, a lot of history still to be made in baseball. Reggie Jackson is not playing today. He's taking the day off against the left-hander Viola. Strike 3, and Herbeck is out. Strikeout number 3 for Candelaria today.
Well, you mentioned, Harmon, how difficult it is for a left-hander to hit against Candelaria. Herbeck sort of froze on that one, and the Candyman got it across for a called strike.
So there's 1 out, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Tom Brunansky, who's 0 for 1. Curveball, ball 1. Brunansky, his first time up, flied out to center field. Bruno hitting at .254 with 19 home runs and 60 RBIs. Curveball, that one's in there, strike 1. Talking about Reggie Jackson, he only needs 1 more to tie Ted Williams, the all-time home run list. That's 2 balls and a strike.
A note here from Craig Olson and Jerry Tungset. They're up from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. They're at the game here. Craig has been planning his vacation around witnessing Carew's 3,000th career hit.
Hit on the ground. Schofield to Carew. A nice play again by the Angels shortstop. And there's 2 gone.
A couple of nice plays by Schofield in the ball game. Another look at it. He made one earlier on Gaetti. Moves over and makes a fine play here. And throws Brunansky out at first base. We're talking about Craig Olson. He is the sports director at KBRF Radio in Fergus Falls. So he's on hand to both witness and cover Rod Carew's 3,000th career hit.
Now, Mickey Hatcher at the plate takes the first pitch by Candelaria for a strike. So it's 0-1. 2 out. Fouls that one into the seats, and it's 0-2 to Hatcher. I keep forgetting about Willie McCovey. He also has 521. Along with Ted Williams, that's 8 and 9, I guess you'd say, on the all-time home run list.
See, not too many National League pitchers have forgotten McCovey.
No, I don't forget McCovey. I just forget that he's tied with Williams. Hatcher fouls it off, and the count holds at 0-2. Jimmy Fox would be next at 5:34, and then Mantle. The ball, and it's 1-2 to Hatch. Dave Engel is on deck. Should Mickey get on? We're in the top of the 4th inning. Minnesota 1, California 1. This one's hit on the ground to second to Bobby Grich. Over to Carew. Hatcher is out, so the Twins here as they go down in order. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. And after 3.5, we're still tied. Minnesota 1, California 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Seattle Mariners open a 3-game series here starting tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. when Mike Witt is scheduled to oppose rookie Bill Swift. The Angels and Mariners continue the series Tuesday evening and conclude the brief homestand with a rare midweek day game Wednesday beginning at 1:05 p.m. Tickets for this series and all remaining home games are on sale right now at advanced ticket windows located behind home plate on the field level. Don't forget Mike Witt versus Bill Swift when the Angels host Seattle tomorrow night. Thank you.
Just an ID, that's all.
Station ID.
Well, as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, we'll pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Minnesota Twins Baseball Network.
Third baseman, Doug DeCinces.
Well, Doug DeCinces will try to do it for the Angels here. He'll be followed by George Hendrick and then Juan Beniquez in the 4th inning. DeCinces hit a shot at Tim Tuffle his first time out. Fastball by Viola, and it's lined to center field for a single. So DeCinces on at first to start off the Angel 4th. To apologize to my partner Bob Kurtz during that.
Right fielder,
You don't have to
Carew
apologize.
Hendrick.
It sent goosebumps up my back. What an exciting thing to see. No, with DeCinces at first, it brings up the right fielder, Hendrick. Hendrick struck out swinging his first time up. Hits this one deep to left field. Well, not so deep. The ball didn't carry that well. He was out front on it a little bit. And there's one away.
What do you think of when you think of Rod Carew? The first couple things that pop in your mind.
Well, I remember Rod as a young player, of course, coming up. And you knew right away he was going to be a good hitter when you first saw him. Slender built, and he had a good swing. But he worked very hard on his hitting. Worked on his bunting, and he used to come out the ballpark early and take a lot of extra batting practice. And I remember him going out sometimes and do nothing but bunting. This Juan Beniquez. Hit on the ground to second. Tuffle over to Washington. It gets by him. Ball goes into left field. DeCinces on his way to third.
Now, you've got a situation now that seems to have plagued Frank Viola much of the year for the Minnesota Twins. Double play ball and a check swing by Beniquez, and the Twins misfire at second as I think Washington just missed the ball. I think he was watching the runner coming towards him and just missed the ball. Viola this year, coming into today, had given up 93 runs, 77 earned, so 16 unearned runs. So the Twins have not always backed Frank with the best fielding in the world. And there's those of you that have followed the ball club also know that Frank has a tendency in a situation like this to have some difficulty. I don't know whether it's he tries too hard, he loses his concentration, or exactly what it is.
Well, he'll face Gary Pettis here. That goes as an error on the shortstop, Bob. And you're right. It was a pretty good throw by Tim Tuffle, and Washington just didn't handle it. Oh, one out, runners at first and third. Pettis fouls the first pitch off, and it's a strike. Gary Pettis will line to second base his first time up. Tie ball game. Bottom of the 4th inning. Minnesota 1, California 1. Gaetti at third base is about even with the bag. The shortstop and second baseman, Tuffle and Washington, are back. That'll be out of play, and it's 0-2. See the infield. Herbeck at first, holding Beniquez. Fastball, and that one just misses. Big crowd on hand, not only to watch this winning ball club, but I think thousands of them out here to see Rod Carew get that 3,000th hit. Must have been a very special feeling, Bob, for him to get it against the Twins.
get it at home here in California before the home crowd, get it against the Twins. I'm not sure if he's aware of it or not, but the game being televised back to Minnesota, so the people that followed his career in the Twin Cities and throughout the upper Midwest had a chance to see it live. Quite a moment.
Fastball is low, and now full count to Pettis. He went 0-2 on him, and now throw 3 straight balls. Pettis not really a power hitter. The switch hitter can run. And he's very difficult to double up. There's Doug DeCinces at third base and Juan Benitez at first. And he stays alive. The Angels come from behind last night when was their 27th of the year. And that's just 3 shy of what they did last year in '84. All year. Angels have won 5 straight ball games. And they've been outstanding in this ballpark. They're 32-20 at home. Liner, right field, base hit. Comes DeCinces, he scores, and Benitez rounds second and will hold there. Well, the Angels take the lead here in the 4th inning, 2-1.
Now Frank was 0-2 on Pettis, and the count went full to 3-2. Pettis took a fastball that looked like he was and lined it to right field for an RBI single. Talked about the Angels. You take stats. Every stat is a positive for California. They're way over 500 at home. They're a little bit over 500 on the road, which is doing exactly what you have to do to win a pennant. And those 27 come from behind victories you talk about. That's what the good ball clubs do. They have a guy in the bullpen, Donnie Moore. That's what the good ball clubs have. They spread it all around. You talked about that earlier. That's how clubs win pennant.
Bob Boone at the plate, and that one's low for a ball. And just what Bob Kurtz was talking about, is a little problem arises in the ball game. It seems to upset Viola a little bit. And of course, he's young, 25 years old, and I'm sure that will straighten out.
Pretty difficult. It's an easy thing to say, forget about it. It's not easy to do, though. And the more it happens, and the more you get stung by it, the more you think about it.
There go the runners. The ball is fouled off by Boone, and they'll go back to second and first.
Getting back to the Angels, they're doing everything they say you have to do to win it. Gene Mauch has them playing great baseball. And back in April, I wouldn't have given you a dime for their chances of winning the thing this year. There's just too much age on this ball club, but the club has held up very, very well.
Everything has really fallen in place for them. 1 ball, 1 strike. Line to center field. Puckett over. He takes it on the first bounce. Here comes Benitez. He scores. And now it's a 3-1 ball game. So Bob Boone picks up an RBI, his 33rd of the year.
Like a curveball that may have hung just a bit up in the strike zone. Like Puckett was going to get there, and then at the last second it looked like he wasn't going to, and he did not make the catch. Benitez is able to score, and the Angels now take a 3-1 lead.
Johnny Padre is out to talk to his pitcher, along with Dave Engel.
Talking about Carew a little while ago. There's a nice story in the paper that I'm sure you would have been glad to see this morning. He's always carried the rap, and sometimes you get it early in your career and it sticks with you, not driving in the big run. And the Statistical Bureau of Major League Baseball has shown that Carew is among the top 3 clutch hitters in the majors the last 3 years.
That's interesting. I did not see that stat, but I'm not surprised at it. Here's the shortstop, Dick Schofield, who homered his last time up. Tied the ball game for the Angels. Throw to second base, and Pettis is back. Harry Pettis at second, Bob Boone at first, with one out here in the fourth inning. California Angels lead 3-1. Twins 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error. The Angels 3 runs, 6 hits now, and no error. And the error was a very costly one. Twins had a play on, and now they call a balk on Frank Viola. Well, that moves the runners to second and third. If you can see what happened on this play. Well, it's obvious there. Sometimes you can't really tell what happens, but that one you could. Infield in now. And now Viola's taking his time. Yeah, Pettis at third, Boone at second. 1 out. Deep to center field. This will score Pettis from third as Puckett hauls it in. And Boone tags at second and goes to third. And we got a 4-1 ball game. Sacrifice fly for Dick Schofield.
Well, the balk combined with the deep fly ball off the bat of Schofield gets home another run, so it'll be 4-1 Angels.
Brian Downing.
As Brian Downing will come to the play. You see Pettis, he could walk home.
Well, the Angels now with 3 runs here in the fourth inning. And it's a 4-1 game. Brian Downing, who walked his last time up, he grounded out in the first, walked in the third. Strike 1. 2 outs. Downing hitting at 243, has 11 home runs and 47 RBIs. He's hit in 6 straight games. Popped up in foul territory, should be way back in the seats, and is. Sunshine crowd here at the Big A. We had over 40,000 here last night. Got to be more than that here today, Bob.
He came to see Carew.
And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strike. Came to see Carew and this first place California Angel Baseball Club.
Winning in the bottom half of the 9th inning last night didn't hurt attendance here this afternoon either.
Check swing right back at Viola. Over to Herbeck, and that's it. They finally get him out here in the fourth. The Angels pick up 3 runs on 3 base hits, 1 error, a costly one by the Twins, and 1 runner left. And after 4 from the Big A, California 4, Minnesota 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Angels are pleased to welcome Little Oscar, Oscar Mayer, and their employees here this afternoon, and for making today's home plate serving tray promotion a reality. It's great having you with us.
seventh inning, right?
Pardon?
4-1 seventh inning.
Sixth.
Sixth? Can you complete that in one another
I'm
game?
gonna find out. Yes. Sixth. And the Bob was to serve. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by.
Dave Engel, catcher.
Here are the scores in the American League this afternoon. Detroit won at home against Milwaukee 7-4. Baltimore beat Cleveland 5-4. Texas over Toronto 8-4. The White Sox have now gone ahead of the Yankees 4-1 in the sixth inning. We're going to try and maybe pick up a tail end of that ball game if Seaver wins his 300th game and show it to you. Boston 2, Kansas City 2 in the seventh, and Seattle leads Oakland 3-0 in the second inning. But Seaver looks like he's on his way to 300, and we'll try and get a tape of that and insert it right in this telecast. So an afternoon of Carew getting his 3,000th hit, and Seaver winning number 300.
What an afternoon. Dave Engel at the plate, 1 ball, no strikes, fouls this one off, and it's 1-1. Top of the fifth inning, Angels 4, the Twins 1. The Angels picked up 3 big ones in the bottom of the fourth. How's Pete Rose doing?
Countdown's doing pretty good. 20 some odd.
I believe he played in yesterday's ball game, did he?
That's the one, if they go on strike, that's really going to get hurt by this, or Seaver if he would fail to
get 300.
But I mean, even so, Seaver would only have to come back and get 1. If the strike were to go any length of time, that's going to push Rose back into another year next year.
Two balls and a strike to Engel. And 3-1. That's a lot of hits. 4,167. And ball 4 to Engel. Ty Cobb with 4,191. So Rose needs 24 to tie Cobb, 25 to go ahead of it. 2 walks now by Candelaria. Brings up Gary Gaetti, who grounded out his first time up. Outside, ball 1. Strike on the corner. Gaetti hitting at 253 now. He has 12 home runs and 46 RBI. And a strike. Gaetti was hit on the arm last night in the dugout by a foul ball. You see the stockinette he's wearing on his left arm. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got him on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Candelaria.
Second baseman, Tim Tuffle.
There's the candy man. Comes sidearm on that one.
It's unusual to see a pitcher throw to a left-hand pitcher throw to right-hand hitter throwing sidearm.
You're right. You had a good description earlier, Harmon. He sort of slings it.
Like a slingshot. Here's Tim Tuffle. Tuffle walked and scored a run his first time up. Takes a strike. I'm informed by my daughter-in-law, who is from Austria, that is Teufel is the correct way to pronounce Tim's name. There's a line drive base hit right field.
However, we'll stick with Tuffle, huh?
Well, runners at first and second and 1 out, and it brings up the left fielder, Dave Meyer. Dave got a single his first time up.
It's an Austrian name, Tuffle?
German, I think. I haven't spoken to Tim about that, but I'm sure that's correct. First pitch to Meyer is outside. Meyer singled to left, back in the third, and drove in Tuffle. And that one misses, and it's 2-0. We've got some activity in the Angel bullpen. I don't know how long they figure he'll throw. There's a strike. 2-1. Last night, Jeff Zahn was taken out of the ball game after he threw so many pitches. Said he really wanted to pitch a few more innings, but he threw so many in the first inning. I think he threw 33 or more pitches. This was fouled off to the right side, out of play, back in the seats. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes for Meyer. Jeff Zahn said they were intending him to throw between 80 and 90 pitches last night and then remove him from the game, but he threw so many early that he couldn't stay in there very long after coming off the disabled list. Full count now to Meyer. We'll watch the runners to see if they're moving. Engel at second, Tuffle at first. They're not, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Well, Dave Meyer walk number 3 by Candelaria, and it'll bring up Kirby Puckett. Well, the base is loaded.
Well, Candelaria comes up as comes to the American League with a big reputation of being among the top control pitchers in baseball. Last year, Candelario averaged only 1.65 walks per 9 innings. That was the second best figure in the National League. Only Bill Gullickson in Montreal was better.
And prior to this game, he had only walked 14 all year.
14 hitters and 54 in the third innings. But this is also his longest stint of the year. For those of you that weren't with us at the start of the telecast, the longest he has gone this year is 3 innings. And he's now in the 5th.
And I think about him like a Righetti, who has been pitching now in the bullpen for a couple of years. And Righetti said it'd be very difficult for him to come back and be a starter and to pitch very many innings right off. And I'm sure that's the way Candelaria is. And already he's in the 5th inning.
Well, Marcel Latchman comes out. We may have a pitching change here.
Gene Mock has decided, I guess, not to come to the mound anymore. He did not come out last night.
Well, they say that Latchman handles the pitching staff. That Gene pretty much, the way it's set up here, has turned it over, that Latchman sets up the rotation. Latchman decides when they're going to make a change and when they aren't.
It's interesting.
I'm sure Gene has strong input, but apparently he has a lot of confidence in Latchman. Now, what they want to do, of course, is let Candelaria go 5 innings so he has a chance to win the game. By the same token, they're in a pennant race, which is a little more important. And they have a 4-1 lead right now and do not want to let it get away.
So bases loaded, Puckett at the plate. California 4, Minnesota 1. And he takes a strike. There's 1 out. Engel at third, Tuffle at second, Meyer at first. And a ball and a strike. Kirby got a sacrifice fly his last time up back in the 3rd inning. Hit it deep to left field to score Tuffle from 3rd. 2 balls and a strike. See Dave Meyer at first. Line drive, base hit. Engel will come in. He scores. Now comes Tuffle. He scores, and it's a 4-3 ball game. Puckett picks up 2 more RBIs and now has 53.
Kirby now has knocked in all 3 runs for the Twins here against Candelaria this afternoon. First hit of the series. But it comes at an opportune time for the Twins.
Shortstop, Ron Washington.
Engel and Tuffle coming in to score 4-3 as you look at Gene Mauch there in the California dugout.
No runners at first and third and 1 away, and Ron Washington at the plate. Twins picking up 2 big runs here and trail by 1. It's 4-3 California. Curveball, strike. Infield at short and second are playing back and double play down. One of the best double playmakers in the American League. California has turned 143 double plays this year so far. See the third baseman DeCinces about even with the bag at third. Carew holding the runner Puckett at first. Fly ball center field. This should score Meyer easily as Pettis goes back. He makes the play. Meyer tags and he scores, and Puckett goes to second as he tags at first. Could be a dangerous play if that run doesn't score before Puckett gets to second and they tag him out.
Well, carrying well here at this ballpark this whole weekend. Pettis goes back and pulls that one into center. Meyer scores easily from third, and then Puckett will move from first down to second.
Well, Puckett at second with 2 out. Ron Washington picks up a sacrifice fly. Kent Herbeck sends it towards Carew at first. He'll take it himself. And that's it for the Twins, but they pick up 3 runs on 2 base hits. No errors by the Angels and 1 left. And after 4.5, we're tied again. Minnesota 4, California 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, if you're looking for a complete evening of entertainment, circle Saturday night, August 17th on your calendar. That's the day the Angels host their northern rivals from Oakland. And it also marks the return of our fine feathered friend from San Diego, the famous chicken. Thanks to sponsor Carnation Dairies, the feisty cow will entertain you with his complete zany routines. His return appearance is bound to need another big crowd. So take a tip, avoid those last-minute lines, and do your ticket shopping now. It's the Angels and A's and the famous chicken, Saturday night, August 17th. Thank you.
Trivia question this afternoon comes from Mark Dembuski, I believe it is, from East Lawson in St. Paul. And he wants to know which former Minneapolis Miller was the last major league player to win the Triple Crown. And in what year? Guy played for the Millers. He was the last major league player to win the Triple Crown, and in which year?
Well, here's Rod Carew again. Sends this one towards left field, but catchable by Meyer there, and he does. Makes the play, and there's one away.
Talk about Carew being a clutch hitter. This comes from the Los Angeles Times this morning. The 1985 baseball analyst, Peter Hurt, is the guy who wrote the book. And he concluded in the last 2 years that in situations that mean a difference in a close game from the 7th inning on, Carew is one of the 3 or 4 best pressure hitters in all of baseball. His average in the clutch at 84 was 388. In 83, it was 350. Harmon Hurt went on to add, in the last 10 years, or since stats have been kept in this area, Carew has the 3rd best percentage in baseball for driving in a run when a runner's in scoring position. 35% of the time. Only Thurman Munson at 35.2 and Al Oliver at 35.1 are better. So Hurt concludes, according to statistics, Rod Carew is one of the supreme clutch hitters of this era.
Bobby Grich at the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Now those are really some interesting statistics and just backs up what we knew all along. I think a player gets tagged, as you say, Bob, when he comes into baseball, and that stays with him. And a check swing by Grich, and it's 2-2. And particularly a fellow like a Pete Rose or a Carew that are singles hitters. But he's got a lot of singles. Oh, my.
There's the Chief. It's more like the Sheik.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Grich here with 1 out. Tapper back to the pitcher. Viola to Herbeck, and there's 2 away.
One other piece of business. We got a letter from Mrs. Christian of Jerome Street in Anoka. She missed one of the trivia questions. Who was the youngest player ever to play in Major League Baseball? And the answer to that was Joe Nuxhall. He was under 16. I can't remember the exact age, 15 years and some odd months. He was the youngest player ever to play big league baseball. 1944, I believe, it was when he broke in. It was during the war years. Joe Nuxhall was the youngest.
This is Doug DeSensei. And he takes the pitch outside. DeSensei singled his last time up. Last night hit his 13th home run of the year. A 2-run shot that won the game for the Angels 5-4. And spoiled Bert Blyleven's debut as a new Twin. Popped up. Tuffle calling for it. Oh, and he nearly lost the ball. Tough sun out there. It's a high sky, no clouds today. Well, they get him out 1, 2, 3 here in the 5th inning. And after 5, Minnesota 4, California 4.
Pitching for the Angels, number 33, Stuart Clyburn. Attention to the message scoreboard for the second Silver Anniversary Baseball Quiz.
15.
Well, we have a new pitcher for the California Angels as the Twins come to bat in the 6th inning. John Candelaria departs after 5, giving up 4 runs on just 3 hits. He struck out 4 and walked 3 during his stint on the mound. The man you're looking at is Stu Clyburn. If he looks familiar, that's because he pitched last night. He closed out the ball game for the Angels. He was the 4th Angel pitcher to work, and he also was the winning pitcher last night. It was he that benefited from the home run off the bat of Doug DeSensei in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And checking the statistics on Mr. Clyburn this year, this will be his 27th appearance. He's 5-2 now with 2 saves and an earned run average of 2.11.
Well, Clyburn comes on in relief of Candelaria here in the 6th inning. And he'll face Brunansky, Hatcher, and Engel. Those are the scheduled hitters. We got something going on here.
They're chanting, one section's chanting "Tastes great," and the other one's saying
that what it is?
filling. Our sponsor will like that.
Ball high and tight to Brunansky. Twins 4, the Angels 4 here in the 6th inning. And there's a strike. Candelaria goes 5 innings, gives up 4 runs, and just 3 hits. Two balls and a strike. What do you think, Kurtz? Will Candelaria help him?
Oh, I think he'll help him. What's interesting is his uncharacteristic wildness is what did him in here. He seemed to lose it in the 5th inning. 4 runs on 3 hits. Yeah, he'll definitely, I think, help the ball club.
He's out of play, and it's 2-2.
The Angels are worried about a short strike. The reason being is they figure that the Royals would miss a couple of games, a lot of games, 15 or so, against Baltimore and the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tigers. Where the Angels will be playing, they figure, an easier schedule, which includes the Twins and Seattle.
Speaking of a strike, what's your feeling about that now? That's popped up behind home plate and should make the screen, and does.
Sort of interesting. From where we sit, you really don't know. Everything's happening back with the negotiators, which are 3,000 miles from here. The players don't seem to know.
They don't seem to know.
It's probably the worst place to get information.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Brunansky. Got him on strikes. Fastball by Clyburn. And there's one away.
Take a look at Brunansky. My only feeling on the strike is it had 8 months to get something done. You would think that reasonableness on both sides in this or any other dispute of this nature, you'd think they'd be able to get it done without having to have a work stoppage. But that had not apparently been the case.
Hatcher fouls it off, and it's strike 1.
It's been a long season for the Twins, and football starting and everything else. But you take a look at some of the other spots. Rob, look at Toronto. They've waited years for this baseball club. They finally have a club in first place in the Eastern Division. The Angels have floundered. Been packing them in, and California's in first place, and all of a sudden there'd be no baseball here in Anaheim. Same goes for the Dodgers, although the Dodgers have been there before. Particularly Toronto is the one that talk here in Southern California of a Los Angeles-Anaheim World Series.
1 ball and 1 strike to Hatcher with 1 out here in the 6th. Line drive, right center field. Over goes Pettis. He can't get it. Hatcher rounds first. He's on his way to second, and he'll stay there with a stand-up double.
Now, Pettis has come up with more than his share of spectacular catches and just missed coming up with that one. He made a bid that comes up short, and Hatcher winds up on second base. Pettis is perhaps the best defensive center fielder in the American League. Got great speed and just fails to come up with that one.
What a great effort it was. Hendrick chased the ball down, and Hatcher with a double. So Mickey Hatcher at second base with 1 out. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Dave Engel. It'll be Mark Salas will pinch hit for Dave Engel. Salas on the year hitting at .321. Has 3 home runs and 25 RBI. So Salas pinch hitting for Engel. Engel was 0 for 1 today, had a walk though and scored a run. Deep to right field. Hendrick with the glasses on drifts back and he's got it. And there's 2 away. So Hatcher with second now and 2 out. And Gary Gaetti will try to get him in.
What do you think it's a strike?
I hope that maybe in the last day here or so they can get it settled before they have to do that. Or if it happens, I hope it's just a very short one.
Thinking even to the Twins, with all the goodwill built up under the new ownership and the record crowds at the Dome, and
Uberoth seems to be trying to do everything he can in his power to keep him from having one. There's a strike.
This is a nice summer in Minnesota, not so much on the field because the club's been a disappointment, but with the All-Star game and with, with the state and the area going all out.
Fastball, and it's strike 2 now to Gaetti. Take another look at that pitch. Ball popped out of his catcher's pad before he could close it.
Slippery little puppy.
He stays alive. Count holds at 0-2.
In the day like we've had today, where Carew has picked up his 3,000th hit, Tom Seaver's now in the 8th inning in New York, going after number 300. The positives of the game will be dominating the newspapers tomorrow morning.
Popped up behind the plate. That should be out of play, and it is.
Tomorrow's going to be one of those great days to get up, get the morning papers, and sit down and read about all the accomplishments, everything that has happened in baseball on the field today.
What inning is it now in New York?
It's in the 8th inning.
8th inning.
4-1 in favor of Chicago. Seaver going after number 300, and we will have a report before we leave the air. I just hope that we don't get up Tuesday or Wednesday morning and have to read all this labor stuff, because I won't read it.
You're not going to read it.
I'm going to put it away until they're done. You read all this rhetoric, and
one of the players here in the area who played for the Dodgers was very emphatic about his feelings about the strike.
Well, Wes Parker, he was one of those that voted against an original strike a long time ago. Was that 72 when they struck right at the beginning of the season, which involved you?
Yeah, I don't remember voting. Out of the strike zone, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But that one was a very short one.
8 games right at the start of the campaign, if I remember right.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the 6th, tied 4-4. Base hit. Here comes Hatcher. He's being waved home, and he'll score. And the Twins take the lead here in the 6th, 5-4. So Gaetti picks up a base hit, RBI single. Jumps on a high fastball from Clyburn and puts the Twins out in front.
He's got it over the head there of the shortstop, Dickie Schofield.
Gaetti at first with 2 out. Tim Tuffle, the second baseman, who has 1 for 1. He walked in the 3rd and singled in the 5th, and he scored 2 runs. Talking about that negotiations, Bob, I think it's difficult for all of us who are not directly involved with the negotiations to know all the ins and outs of what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think it's really possible to point to one side or the other. They're arguing about an awful lot of dollars. The owners are saying they put up the capital, they take the risk, they're entitled to the profits because a number of them certainly are losing. The players certainly, as any employee would, don't want to lose any of the benefits they already have. They don't want to give back to management what they've already fought for. So it's quite a standoff. Just a shame they can't get this accomplished off the playing field and get it straightened out before it came to this.
One ball and no strike. Pitch out. Tom Kelly flashing the signs at third. You can see that wrap on Gary Gaetti's left arm. Hit on the ground to third, just foul. Oh, it's 2 balls and a strike. Stu Clyburn just taking his time out there, working very, very slowly. Came in last night, did the job for the Angels. There goes Gaetti, and the ball is fouled at the plate by Tuffle. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Gaetti will have to go back to first.
It was interesting. A lot of reporters were sitting around talking last night how much they enjoyed watching Blyleven work. And they were saying that, you know, I'm not putting the blame here on Clyburn since he's the pitcher out there. But there seem to be more and more of these pitchers getting into the game where they stand there and they wait and they wait. I don't know what advantage they get by standing there and waiting and waiting and waiting. Like looking over your putt for 4 hours, you're either going to make it or you're not going to make it. He is in no hurry.
It'll be out of play.
We've talked about it before. I think it's boring for us. It's boring for the fans at home. It's boring for the fans in the ballpark. And it has got to be heck playing behind these guys on the field, standing out there in the sun.
Very tough. I don't think your fielders will be as alert when you work very, very slowly like that. Very warm day here in Anaheim. People in the bleachers have got to be getting sunburned out there.
That's why they're out there, though.
There goes Gaetti, and ball 3. The throw is in time. Now it's a 2-4, caught stealing on Gaetti, and that takes the Twins out of the inning. And after 5.5, Twins 5, California 4. That's right.
Gentlemen, we call your attention to the message scoreboard.
I do this now?
Answer to today's Super Anniversary Baseball Quiz.
What's happening in the music?
Keep us posted on Seaver.
Your attention, please. Now catching for the Twins, number 12, Mark Salas. Ladies and gentlemen, the Angels would like to extend a very special special birthday greeting to Eric Travis, celebrating his 18th birthday today. Happy birthday to Eric Travis.
Well, stay tuned to Channel 9 after the ball game. It'll be What's Happening, followed at 6 o'clock by Fame. At 7 o'clock tonight, Solid Gold. And 8 o'clock, big story on Harmon Killebrew, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Kurtz.
I don't think you're the subject tonight.
No. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Angels, George Hendrick at the plate. Hendrick is first 2 times up. Struck out in the 2nd, flied out in the 4th. And it's 2 balls and no strike. Frankie Viola trying to win his 11th game of the year. He's 10-9. Got a lead here in the 6th, 5-4. Third ball and misses, and it's 3-0 to Hendrick. Hendrick with good power. There's the new catcher, Mark Salas, behind the plate. And it's 3-1 for Hendrick. Hendrick's best homer years were 25 in 1980 and with St. Louis, and then with Cleveland he had 25 one year. There's that one foul out of play, and it's 3-2.
Back and forth in the American League against the National League. It's interesting to note Hendricks hit 30 points higher as a National League hitter, 295, than he did in the American League, where he was 261.
Well, what's that mean? The pitching's much better in the American League? No.
You can go both ways on that.
Ball 4, and Hendrick will go to first with a walk. See, I have that as the 2nd walk for Viola.
Yeah, not what you're looking to do either. Your club gets you a lead, 5-4, although Frank sat a long time. He come back in the bottom of the inning and walk the leadoff man.
Ray Miller. There's Juan Benitez. Benitez reached on an error his last time up. And he takes that one for a ball.
Well, about pitchers going slow, you know, that's one of the things that scares me about expansion, is that you're struggling now to find pitchers that can pitch at the major league level, and you add a couple of more ball clubs. I don't know where they're going to come from.
Oh, we heard this before, though.
They come from somewhere, huh?
Come from somewhere, that's right. There's a strike. I think there's more and more young players playing out there, Bob, than ever before, in Little League, high school, and college baseball. I think the instruction is better. I think the athletes are better. Gaetti creeping in at third base, expecting a bunt by Benitez to count 1 ball and 1 strike. Hendrick at first. Twins lead here 5-4 in the bottom of the 6th. And now it's 2-1. Benitez checking Moose Stubing at third base for the sign. Benitez has some power. He has 5 home runs this year. Last year he hit 8. There goes Hendrick. The ball lined to right field. Base hit. Down in the corner. Hendrick being waved home by the third base coach Stubing. The relay to third. And it's a triple for Benitez, and we're tied again, 5-5.
Well, there's the leadoff walk coming back to haunt you. Then Benitez drives him in with a triple to the corner. A ball is, well, you'll see it here. Slices down the right field line. It'll catch the wall and just hugs the wall all the way around. Hendrick scores standing up, and Benitez goes into third base with a triple.
So we're tied here, 5-5. Benitez at third base. With nobody out, Gary Pettis comes to the plate. And I don't know what Miller was doing there, putting on a sign of some kind. The infield in. Try to cut the run off at the plate. Fastball, that one is on the corner, strike one. You see the infield all the way around and playing in shallow. Benitez at third. 0-1 on Gary Pettis. It's out of play, and it's 0-2. Now he can go to work on it. The on-deck hitter for the Angels is Bob Boone. No activity in the Twins bullpen. Yes, there is. Everybody is up throwing. Very difficult to see the bullpens from where we are up here in the broadcast booth. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Pettis. Pettis, his last time up, a single to right field that drove in a run. That was his 14th RBI of the year. Did he go? Yes, strike 3. And he thought he held up, but he went too far. So Viola strikes out Pettis, and there's one away.
And this is Viola's second strike. You see Pettis definitely goes around. Twins win that appeal, so they have 1 out now, and Boone coming up.
Bob Boone a single his last time up, but he drove in a run. Bob Boone is one of the finest defensive catchers in his many years of playing, both in the National League and in the American. See the infield still in. He spread out a little bit at the plate, got a wider stance than he had before. There's a pitch out, and that ball nearly got away from Salas, as I think Viola maybe crossed him up. He jumped outside, anticipating possibly a squeeze play, and called the pitch out. Now Stubing, the third base coach, goes over and says something to Benitez at third. We'll see if they put a play on here. And he takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And signs, you know the signs, Bob? Is that a base hit sign or
Get a hit?
Get a hit sign. It's a ball.
Now Boone is bunting. He certainly has given no indication.
2 balls and a strike. The outfield is deep and straight away for Boone. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tied, Minnesota 5, Angels 5. There's another pitch out. Now it's 3 balls and a strike. Somebody just threw a big, huge beach ball down on the field and had Salas's name on it, and number. Fly ball left field. Well, it's kind of a short fly ball. Benitez tags and goes back to third base. It wasn't deep enough to score him. Now let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Minnesota Twins Baseball Network.
Shortstop, Dick.
Harmon Killebrew, Bob Kurtz from the Big A in Anaheim. We've got a tie ball game. Twins 5, California 5. Dick Schofield, the shortstop, coming to the plate with 2 out, and Juan Benitez at third. When he hit that ball, I thought he had a possible chance of scoring.
Pretty good throw if you look back on it from Meyer.
Curveball, that misses, ball one. Schofield today, a home run and a sacrifice fly. That home run is 8th of the year. Turns it over, and it's 1-1. The infield now back. Tough Gaetti at third base. And popped up. Tim Tuffle shading his eyes, calls for it, and he's got it. The Angels in the 6th pick up 1 run on 1 base hit. No errors by the Twins. 1 runner left. We've completed 6 at the Big A, and it's the Twins 5, the California Angels 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, when the Angels host Seattle in the final game of this current homestand next Wednesday, it will be a day game starting at 1 o'clock. So plan now to enjoy a day in the sun and watch the Angels battle the Mariners next Wednesday afternoon. Thank you.
Anything new on Seaver?
Second baseman, Tim Tuffle.
Well, you see there is a little breeze here at Anaheim Stadium. It's a very, very warm day. A lot of sunshine. Twins out in front 5-4 over the Angels. And as we go to the top of the 7th inning, and to do the play-by-play, here's Bob Kurtz.
Okay, Tuffle, Meyer, and then Kirby Puckett for Minnesota. 5-5 ball game.
What did I say? 5-4 ball game.
5-4. It was 5-4 at one stage.
I had them out in front here, 5-4. It's 5-5.
See if we can push them out in front. 6-5. Love seems to have won the lead this afternoon. Third hit off Clyburn. Twins also had 3 hits off the starter, John Candelaria, so their leadoff man aboard here in the 7th inning.
Carew's got me all shook up today.
Carew's got a lot of people shook up. I wonder if there's ever been a day in baseball history where there's been 2 milestones in one day like there could be today. I don't understand they're in the 9th inning now at Yankee Stadium in New York. 4-1 White Sox as Seaver goes after number 300. Seaver with 300 earlier today. Rod Carew picking up his 3,000th base hit. Stuart Walker Clyburn, who resides in Jackson, Mississippi. Stands 6 feet, weighs 187 pounds, has kicked around baseball, organized baseball since 1977. Up for a bit with California, just 1 ball game a year ago. Called a strike there on Meyer. 1 strike to Meyer, who has singled to left and walked. Twins have 6 hits. Tuffle the only man with 2. Puckett has 1. Hatcher has 1. Gaetti 1 and Meyer 1, in addition to the 2 by Tuffle. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Minnesota. 5-7-0 for California.
5-5.
5-5. Stu Clyburn's brother Stan was in the California organization from 1974 through 1980. He joined the Angels last September the 10th from the Edmonton Trappers at the Pacific Coast League. Made his major league debut September 17th against Kansas City. And as you can see, he is in absolutely no hurry. Myers squares. Doesn't offer as the pitch is wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. They seem very concerned about Tim Tuffle at first base. I would think in this situation, as you look over at Tom Kelly, the sacrifice might be on. They can move Tuffle down to second base, set up the table for Kirby Puckett, who has knocked in 3 runs for the Twins today. Doug DeSensei cheating in at third base. Carew holding with Tuffle over at first. Twins had Gaetti thrown out at second base to end the 6th inning. Up high, 2 balls and a strike, and now Boone will go out for a confab with Clyburn. Clyburn's been feeding Meyer the high fastball, which is one of the toughest pitches to bunt. Meyer has given every indication that's exactly what he's doing. He is squared every time. Tom Kelly again goes through the signs. Again, Meyer this time puts the bunt down. That'll move the runner to second. Clyburn with 1 play to first base. A sacrifice 1-4 if you're keeping score. Now the Twins have their runner at second with the go-ahead run represented by Tuffle with 1 out. And we'll go to the top of the order in Kirby Puckett. Puckett lined to right field in the 1st inning, knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly to left in the 3rd, and then singled in a pair in the 5th. Puckett has just 1 hit in 11 trips in the series, but has picked up 3 RBIs in the ball game here this afternoon. Kirby hitting at .275 on the year, 3 homers, and now 53 runs batted in. Ray Miller looks on from the Minnesota dugout. One strike to count to Kirby Puckett. Tomorrow night, Harmon and I will be at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum as the A's and the Twins open up what we hope will be a 3-game series. 9:30 will be game time back in the Twin Cities on Channel 9. Twins and the A's. It could be the first of 3 from Oakland or the last for a while, huh?
We'll find out. Maybe sooner than Tuesday, huh? What's the deadline on that?
Not sure exactly, but the games would not be played Tuesday, from what I understand. Strike on Puckett again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. They would affect all ball games played on Tuesday. So the Twins, I don't think there are any day games scheduled Tuesday. So the Twins would know by the games in the East start at 7:30. Which would be 4:30 out here in the West Coast. So the Twins would know by 6:30 Minnesota time, 4:30 where they'll be at in Oakland. And my guess is you'll know before that. I would doubt they would have people go to the stadiums in anticipation and then pull the plug. I would assume it would be done earlier in the day. There's been some talk of moving it back because some clubs are off Monday rather than having the clubs fly all the way to the site on Tuesday and then not play. Drive by Puckett down the right field line, foul. Well, they may announce it earlier than that. There's a negotiating session scheduled today.
Today, yeah.
May be the one. See, the clubs that are off Monday would travel on the off day, then get to a site and never play the game. So I would think there'd be an announcement before then. One ball and 2 strikes to count on Kirby Puckett. He goes down swinging. Clyburn racks up his first strikeout. Coupled at second base, now 2 outs for the Twins.
I got a slider. He missed it.
Your attention, please.
Tom Seaver has won his 300th game as Chicago beat the Yankees 4-1. 4 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for Chicago, 1-6-0 for New York.
6-hitter for Seaver.
Well, that's assuming he goes the distance, which I'm guessing he did. We'll have more details on that in just a bit.
Got a pinch hitter for Ron Washington. It'll be Roy Smalling.
Coupled at second base, 2 outs. Twins bat here top of the 7th in Anaheim. It is a 5-5 ball game. Only hitting at .277 on the year. 9 home runs for Roy. He had one out here on Friday night, and 35 runs batted in. Fouled back on the screen. 1 strike to count to Smalling. Tomorrow night, Mike Smithson is scheduled to go against Tim Burtsis. Tuesday night, John Butcher against Chris Cotteroli, and then Ray Miller is undecided who will work the Wednesday afternoon game against Tommy John. Twins 5, Angels 5, top of the 7th in Anaheim. Only the 17th player in Major League history to record 300 victories. He is now 300 and 189 lifetime. And he did it in New York City, where his career began back in 1967. Seaver was there along with Jerry Koosman, John Matlick, Nolan Ryan. Actually, if they had left that staff alone, the Mets would have had a staff for 15, 16, 20 years. Three and 1 to Smalley. Throw back to second base, and Tuffle hurries back. Three balls, 1 strike to Roy Smalley. Tuffle at second base, 2 outs. Twins here batting in the top of the 7th, trying to break a 5-5 deadlock with the Angels. Shot down the first baseline, fair ball. Carew flips to Clyburn, and that'll retire the side here in the 7th. After 6.5, Twins 5, Angels 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Will you please join Tracy McIntosh in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"?
Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at Anaheim. We'll answer our trivia question now from Mark Dembuski of St. Paul, Minnesota. The former Minneapolis Miller, who was the last player to win the Triple Crown, was Carl Yastrzemski of Boston in 1967 with a .326 batting average, 44 home runs, and 121 runs batted in. So our thanks to Mark for the question. He wins a cooler from Light Beer and a chance for an all-expense-paid trip for two to the 1985 World Series. You can get in on it by sending your trivia question and answer on a postcard to Light Beer Trivia Quiz, Post Office Box 28070, Minneapolis 55428. Bottom half of the 7th inning here in Anaheim. 5-5 ball game, the Twins and the Angels. California sending up Brian Downing, then Rod Carew, and then Bobby Grich. Roy Smalley, who pinch hit for Ron Washington, stays in the ball game and will play shortstop. 1 ball and 1 strike to Downing, who has grounded to short, walked, and bounced back to the pitcher. He is the designated hitter for Gene Mauch this afternoon. Two balls and a strike. He's hitting .242, 11 home runs, and 47 runs batted in. Two-one pitch now from Frank Viola is ripped on a line to left field. Over goes Meyer. He won't get there. It grounds into the stands, or bounds into the stands, for a ground rule double. A leadoff double here in the bottom of the 7th by Brian Downing. Take a look at it. He hit that one right on the nose. Meyer off at the crack of the bat, can't get there. And it takes the hop over that short wall in left field. And so the Angels have their leadoff man in scoring position here in the 7th. And now Viola will have to pitch to Rod Carew. Ray Miller, Mickey Hatcher in the Minnesota dugout. Carew has 1 for 3 today, which makes him 3 for 7 this year against Viola. He has 8 for 20. Career-wise against Frank, so he has hit the left-hander well. We talked about the schedule. There are 3 clubs in the American League that would have to travel on the off date Monday. Milwaukee would have to go to Texas, Boston and Chicago, and Baltimore would have to go to Toronto on the off day on Monday. They don't play Monday night. One ball and 1 strike to count to Carew. Moose Stubing. Two balls and a strike to Carew. Ground ball, third base, Gaetti plays the hop, throws Carew out at first, holding at second base Downing. There's now 1 gone.
Kind of interested in what Gene Autry had to say. He said it was nice to have Rod get his 3,000th hit in an Angel uniform against his former teammates, the Twins. He said, don't stop there, get another 1,000. But there had been some talk about Rod probably retiring after this year.
He's only hitting .266 for the season, and that's not Carew. As Ray Miller now comes out of the Minnesota dugout, Bobby Grich is the scheduled hitter. It looks like Ray's going to go to the bullpen. He has taken the ball from Viola, so apparently that is going to be all for Frank. Frank will go 6 and a third innings here in Anaheim. Leaves having given up 5 runs, responsible for Downing at second base. The Angels touch Viola for 8 hits. I have him for 2 strikeouts and 3 walks.
Gentlemen, we call your attention to the message scoreboard.
So we'll wait and see who is coming in for the Twins.
It's like Euphemia.
And looks like him. And is it?
Yep. Hard to tell. We're so far away from the bullpen. Frank Euphemia coming on in relief here in the 7th inning for Frank Viola. Euphemia on the year has a record of 3 wins, 1 loss, 2.52 ERA. This is his 26th appearance of the year. He's pitched 39 in the 3rd innings, given up 33 hits. He's walked 11 and struck out 21.
First batter that Euphemia will face will be Bobby Grich. We'll give you some final scores from the American League. Detroit beat Milwaukee 7-4. Baltimore over Cleveland 5-4. Texas over Toronto 8-4. And the other final I have, Chicago turning back New York, the one we gave you 4-1, in which Seaver won his 300th game. Here in Anaheim, it is 5-5, the Twins and the Angels. The Angels have Brian Downing at second base, 1 out, and Bobby Grich due up. Ball game, it has featured the 3,000th career hit by Rod Carew. Both starters have now left the game. John Candelaria went 5 for the Angels, replaced by Stu Clyburn, who has worked the last 2. Frank Viola goes 6 1/3. He departs in favor of Frank Euphemia.
Frank Anthony Euphemia, 26-year-old from Bronx, New York, coming in to pitch for Frank Viola.
Well, we've got some 2 loyal Twins fans on hand at the game. Bernie and Sue McKigney of Moorhead, Minnesota. Inform us that Sue has Harmon's autograph in a Twins jersey at the Meet the Twins luncheon, which was held last winter, you recall, up in Moorhead. And they say the Angel fans are giving her a hard time down there for wearing the jersey to the game today, and they'd like to send special greetings to Sue's father, Melvin Griffin of Middle River, Minnesota. So that's from Bernie and Sue McKigney.
Thank you, Bob.
We also have a note up here to Herb and Harmon. Loyal fans. They want to say hello to Hopkins, Minnesota from Rhino and Lynn.
Okay, did you tell Herb?
I got to pass it next door here. Here's Bobby Grich. One ball to no strikes. Grich has been up 3 times, hit a ground ball on each occasion. Back to the pitcher twice, in the 1st and again in the 5th. And then the middle time at bat, in the 3rd inning, he hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Bobby hitting .245 on the year, 5 homers and 30 runs batted in. Two balls and no strikes, the count to Grich. Frank Euphemia on in relief of Frank Viola. Grich hits a ground ball again. Smalley over to Herbeck. 2 outs and Downing still at second base. So that brings up the man who won last night's game for the Angels, 3rd baseman Doug DeCense. A dramatic 9th inning home run off the new twin Bert Blyleven to beat Minnesota last night 5-4. Blyleven pitched a great game, retired the Angels in order in 6 of the 9 innings. Gave up 5 hits, but 2 of them worth the distance. Rupert Jones and Doug DeCense, and they're going to take the bat out of DeCense's hands right here. DeCense's gone 1 for 3 today. That home run last night, ironically, it came on August 3rd. I don't know how much stock you want to put in this, but he likes to hit against the Twins on August 3rd. He's played 3 such games against Minnesota on the 3rd of August, has 5 hits and 13 trips, 4 of them home runs, and 7 runs batted in.
It's amazing.
But here it is August 4th, and the Twins are not taking any chances. They'll walk him, put runners at first and second with 2 outs, and pitch to George Hendrick.
Right fielder, George Hendrick.
George has struck out, flied to left, and walked. Hendrick appeared and made his Angel debut as a pinch hitter in last night's ball game and grounded out to Ken Herbeck at first base. One strike to Hendrick. Femia putting a breaking ball in the corner.
Femia wanted to bluff Downing back to second base, keep him close to the bag.
Situation like this, if you can cost Downing a step, that might be the difference between the lead run and being thrown out at the plate on a base hit, say, to center field.
That's right.
1 strike to count. Downing at second, DeSensei on at first. Scoreboard has 1 ball, 2 strikes now. The count on Hendrick. Now 2-2. Two on, 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count to Hendrick. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Twins and Angels are tied at 5. We wrap up this 3-game series. Hendrick lines it foul down the left field line. So still 2-2 to Hendrick. Goes home with a souvenir. Part of the fun of coming out to the ballpark. Two balls and 2 strikes to count. There's a drive by Hendrick out to left center field. Puckett goes over, makes the catch, and the side retired. So the Angels threaten but do not score. After 7, the Twins 5, the Angels 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, following this afternoon's game, the Angels...
Bill, why?
You're invited to remain in the stands for the playing of the 28th Annual Metropolitan All-Stars Game, featuring the standout performers from throughout Orange County. So plan to remain here for the 2nd game of today's doubleheader and watch the Metropolitan All-Stars. Thank you.
They didn't tape it? You've got to be joking. Well, if somebody, you know, the sports department can still get it off of CNN or ESPN. Remind them of that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tell them to get it.
call your attention to the message scoreboard. Can you guess today's paid attendance? Ladies and gentlemen.
Bob Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at the Big A in Anaheim. Twins and Angels tied 5-5, 41,630 on hand this afternoon to see Rod Carew get his 3,000th hit. In New York, of course, Tom Seaver winning number 300. As Ken Herbeck leads it off for the Twins to start the 8th inning. He'll be followed by Tom Brunansky and then Mickey Hatcher. Swing and a miss by Herbeck, who has struck out twice, swinging in the first inning, called in the 4th, and then grounded out to first base in the 5th inning. This will be Herbeck's first at bat, though, against the right-handed throwing Clyburn. All he's seen so far this afternoon were the left-handed slants of Candelaria. Or should I say the left-handed slings, huh?
Slings, yes.
2 strikes to Herbeck. Hitting .246 on the year, 14 home runs and 58 runs batted in. One ball and 2 strikes to count. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Twins, 5 runs on 8 hits, and no errors for the Angels. Both starting pitchers, John Candelaria and Frank Viola, have departed. It's Clyburn against Frank Euphemia at the moment, as Herbeck goes down swinging for the 3rd time today.
Right fielder, Tom Brunansky.
2nd strikeout, 3rd strikeout for Clyburn. 1 gone to start the 8th for the Twins, and here's Brunansky. Bruno on the afternoon, flied to left, grounded to short, and struck out swinging. Pops this one up and back of first base. Carew goes out. Coming in is Hendrick, and Hendrick will make the catch in shallow right. 2 away for the Twins.
Yeah, it's just been a very, very tough day in the field with the high sky, no clouds, and that bright sunshine. It's difficult to pick up the ball. And he made it here.
Bases empty, 2 outs for the Twins, and that'll bring up the DH Mickey Hatcher, who has a double to show for his 3 trips today. Scored a run in the 6th inning. Came in on the single by Gaetti, which gave the Twins a 5-4 lead at that time. But the Angels came right back to tie the game again in the bottom half of the inning. Two and 0 to Hatcher. Mick hitting at .295, back in the lineup today after being out with the bad back. Couple of home runs for Mickey this year and 35 runs batted in. There's a called strike, 2-1. Tomorrow night, Harmon and I will be in Oakland, 9:30. Mike Smithson goes against Tim Burtis. Twins and the A's kick off what we hope will be a 3-game series. Hatcher grounds it to third. Doug DeSense makes the play over to Carew. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied 5-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, Angels ticket shopping is as easy as picking up your telephone. Just call Teletron at area code 714-634-1300 or area code 213-410-1062 and order your tickets to future games. Simply charge it to your Visa or MasterCard. Or if you prefer, the Big A ticket office is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5:30. And you can also order by mail to Angels Tickets, P.O. Box 2000, Anaheim 92803. Please include $2 per order for postage and handling. Finally, for your convenience, Angels tickets may be obtained at any Ticketron outlet at Sears, Tower Record Stores, and several other locations. Do your ticket shopping today. Thank you.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at the Big A. Juan Beniquez, Gary Pettis, and Bob Boone up against Frank Euphemia. 5-5 ball game, the Twins and the Angels. A game that has featured Rod Carew's 3,000th hit. An afternoon that featured 3,000 miles away Tom Seaver's 300th win. I don't think that's ever happened.
I'm sure it hasn't happened before.
From a Carew perspective, if you're talking about national publicity, Seaver will dominate.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it happened in New York.
Yep.
Seaver is pitched a good share of his career in New York. A couple major accomplishments in the game today.
Like what Rod had to say when they stopped the game and Gene Autry was on the field. He said he was glad to get the 3,000 hits, but he was very glad that he did it in front of the hometown fans so they could enjoy it.
And in front of our television audience, they enjoyed it too. As Beniquez fouls it back, you'll be talking with Rod after the ballgame if all goes well?
Well, if everything goes right, we'll get a chance to talk to Rod after the game. And there he is.
Twins 5, Angels 5 here at the Big A. Frank Euphemia on in relief of Frank Viola. Viola went 6 1/3, 5 runs, 8 hits. Euphemia came on, got Grich to bound out, walked to Sensei intentionally, and Hendrick to fly to center. And Beniquez right now to fly to shallow right. Duffel goes back, shades his eyes, makes the play.
Duffel playing without any sunglasses. I don't understand that. When you can use glasses, why not use them?
Center fielder.
Some people feel more comfortable without them.
A lot of guys have trouble with the sunglasses, getting used to wearing them, flipping them down. So the Twins play so many games at night and inside the dome. You don't need the sunglasses very often. On a day like this, boy, it's almost a necessity. It is a necessity.
Here's Gary Pettis now batting left-handed. Bounds it up the middle, cut off by Duffel. He drops the ball. And that puts the speedy Pettis aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Looked like it was going to be just a routine ball, a big chopper over the head of Euphemia. He tried to catch it, and in the glove of Duffel, and he just dropped it.
The catcher, Bob Boone.
So Pettis at first base and Boone at the plate. Pettis with 31 stolen bases this year. He's been thrown out 6 times. Little lob there from Euphemia. Boone has 8 sacrifice bunts, so he's been pretty adept at that. I think he does. He leads the Angels. He and Schofield lead the club in sacrifices. 1 strike to count to Boone, who's hitting .247 on the year, 4 homers and 33 runs batted in. A charged Duffel with an error on the play. Twins second of the ball game. Ron Washington's error back in the 4th inning opened the door for 3 Angel runs. Twins failed to turn the double play. They got no one. Minnesota generally this year a pretty good fielding ball club. Minnesota 5, California 5. Angels batting here, and the bottom of the 8th inning. Pettis at first base, 1 out. There he goes. Salas had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Pettis had a good jump and no chance. Steal number 32 now for Pettis.
He had a good jump and a breaking pitch by Euphemia, and he nearly hit the pitcher throwing the ball to second base.
Now Pettis is in scoring position with 1 out.
An error and a stolen base.
And a count of 1-1 on Boone, and now they're going to put Boone on. which sets up the double play.
And you're going to see a pinch hitter.
You didn't doubt that, did you?
No.
Guess who the pinch hitter is?
Number 44. There he is, Reggie Jackson.
Frank Euphemia, who grew up in New Jersey, and I'm sure Frank grew up watching Reggie Jackson play for the Yankees. During some of the big moments of Reggie's career, and now Euphemia, the rookie, battles Jackson, the veteran, with the game on the line here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, we can't see the bullpen. We know somebody's up down there throwing. Probably be, what, Filson?
Filson. Davis is probably, it's a Davis situation. Euphemia is not going to get the chance to pitch to Jackson. As Ray Miller has come out, taken the baseball, Euphemia departed. He did the job for the Twins. He works 1 full inning. Got the Twins out of difficulty in the 7th. Here in the 8th, nothing has happened that is his doing. He got the leadoff man, Beniquez, to fly to second. Pettis was safe on the air, and he walked Boone intentionally. And it will be Filson.
So Pete Filson coming on in relief of Frank Euphemia. And that's 1 out, runners at first and second. Viola, Euphemia, and now Filson.
Filson worked a third of it during some of the big moments of Reggie's career, and now Euphemia, the rookie, battles Jackson, the veteran, with the game on the line here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, we can't see the bullpen. We know somebody's up down there throwing. Probably be, what, Filson?
Filson. Davis is probably, it's a Davis situation. Euphemia is not going to get the chance to pitch to Jackson. As Ray Miller has come out, taken the baseball, Euphemia departed. He did the job for the Twins. He works 1 full inning. Got the Twins out of difficulty in the 7th. Here in the 8th, nothing has happened that is his doing. He got the leadoff man, Beniquez, to fly to second. Pettis was safe on the air, and he walked Boone intentionally. And it will be Filson.
So Pete Filson coming on in relief of Frank Euphemia. And that's 1 out, runners at first and second. Viola, Euphemia, and now Filson.
Filson worked a third of an inning out here on Friday. Was touched up for 2 hits and 1 run. Pete on the year is at 3-5 with a couple of saves and an earned run average of 4.19. So Filson becomes the 3rd Twins pitcher. Viola 6 1/3, Euphemia an inning, and now Pete Filson here with 1 out in the Angel 8th. Tigers winning this afternoon 7-4 over Milwaukee. Baltimore a winner over Cleveland. They both pick up a game on Toronto, which lost at home against Texas this afternoon. Tom Seaver, of course, and the White Sox won. Seaver recording his 300th career win against 189 losses.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Carew and about Tom Seaver today, but the guy that's going to pinch hit, Reggie Jackson, owns 520 career home runs. He's just 1 shy of Ted Williams and Willie McCovey on the all-time home run list for the number 8 position.
Boston beat Kansas City this afternoon 6-5 in 12 innings. So the Angels pull this one out. They're going to pick up another game on the Royals, which would push them 4 games off the pace. Royals have been the Angels' most persistent challenger this year. Oakland's still pretty much in the hunt. The A's started the day 5 games behind the front-running Angels. As we get all set here, Reggie Jackson against Pete Filson. Pettis at second, Boone at first, 1 out. Ground ball right side. Herbeck makes the play to second for 1. No relay to first base. Jackson goes after the first pitch and is safe on a fielder's choice. But they get Boone going to second, 3-6 if you're keeping score, and Pettis, the speedster, moves to third. And we go to the top of the order of a designated hitter, Brian Downing.
The designated hitter, Brian Downing.
Downing has grounded to short, walked, bounced back to the pitcher, and doubled. And Ray Miller again coming out of the Twins dugout. He'll probably, I would assume in this situation, go to Davis.
Again, we can't see the bullpen. We don't know what's going on down there.
So Pete Filson works a third of an inning. He got the man that he was sending the ball game to get, and so he leaves. Davis comes on and will depart also here. And remind you that this afternoon's broadcast comes your way from the Big A in Anaheim.
30 seconds.
Hey, you're looking at Ron Davis in the top of your screen coming into pitch. And he'll face, we don't know who he'll face. Downing is a scheduled batter. Probably will hit for himself.
Number 39.
Davis on the year, 2 wins, 5 losses, 3.76 ERA. This is his 39th appearance. He has 15 saves so far. And in the 40 and 2/3 innings he's pitched, he's walked 24 and struck out 47.
This is not a save situation, but under Ray Miller in 9 save situations, RD has been successful 9 times. He has been phenomenal since Miller took over.
Yes, he has. A definite turnaround by Ron Davis. There's the skipper, Gene Mock.
Davis here being asked to slam the door on the Angels in the 8th inning of a 5-5 ball game. Angels runners at first and third with 2 outs, and the ever dangerous right-handed hitting Brian Downing at the plate. Gene Mauch is very high on Downing. You mentioned last night, Harmon, how high he hits him in the order.
Yeah, today he's got him in the leadoff slot. Last night he had him in the number 3 slot. Very strong looking hitter. A lot of weight work.
Twins grabbed a 1-0 lead in the 3rd. Sacrifice fly by Puckett. Angels came back to tie it 1-1 in the 3rd. And the Angels pushed ahead 4-1 in the 4th inning. Twins came back to tie it 4-4, knocked Candelaria from the mound. Angels went ahead in the 4th. Twins tied it up in the 5th. Twins took a 5-4 lead. Angels tied it 5-5, and that's where we are right now. As Davis trying to keep it at 5-5 against Downing. 1 ball and no strikes to Downing. Gary Pettis at third base. And Reggie Jackson over at first with 2 outs. Ground ball. Smalley knocks it down. Pettis scores. Even had Smalley been able to make the play, Pettis would have scored. Smalley's only chance would have been to get up and somehow try and force Jackson at second base, and I don't think he could have done it from that position.
Now let's look at it again. Ball was hit pretty well by Brian Downing to Smalley's right. He was able to knock the ball down, but then of course you see where the ball went. And Pettis scored easily from third base. Now we're going to have a pinch runner for Reggie Jackson.
Craig Gerber will go in and run for Reggie. And my guess is that Gerber will stay in the ball game and replace Schofield at shortstop. So a base hit and an RBI for Downing. Angels take a 6-5 lead, and Rod Carew now bats. Carew, of course, picked up number 3,000 back in the third inning. He's 1 for 4 on the afternoon. He'll be talking with Harmon Killebrew at the conclusion of the ball game. Two balls and no strikes to Carew. 6-5 Angels, bottom of the 8th. A tough one there for Salas. Got the glove on it. And kept the runners from moving up. 2 balls and a strike to Carew. Look ahead to the Minnesota 9th. Due up Mark Salas, Gary Gaetti, and Tim Tuffle. Three balls and a strike to Carew. Ground ball right side. Herbeck makes the play, steps on the bag, and that retires the Angels, but they push ahead 6-5 after 8 innings.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are scores in baseball games played today. First in the American League, Boston defeated Kansas City 6-5. In the 8th inning, Oakland leads Seattle 5-3. Detroit defeated Milwaukee 7-4. Baltimore 5, Cleveland 4. Texas 8, Toronto 4. And Chicago 4, New York 1. In the National League, all games are final. The Reds defeated the Dodgers 5-4. The Braves over the Giants 5-4. The Phillies shut out the Cardinals 6-0. The Pirates defeated the Expos 4-3. The Mets defeated the Cubs 4-1. Your attention, please. Now at shortstop for the Angels, number 2, Craig Gerber. Now pitching, number 37, Donnie Moore.
Guy. Bob Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at the Big A in Anaheim. It is now 6-5 Angels, and you're looking at the guardian angel Donnie Moore, who has allowed only 3 earned runs in his last 29 and a third innings over his last 22 appearances, which figures to an 0.91 ERA. In other words, he has been effective, and it is Moore the Twins are going to have to get past if they come back to tie or go ahead of this ball game here in the 9th inning. Mark Salas will lead it off. He'll be followed by Gary Gaetti and then Tim Tuffle. 6-5 California. They've made the announcement that Kansas City has lost, and so the Angels know they can extend that lead now over the Royals to 4 games with a win over the Twins here this afternoon. Swing and a miss by Salas as Moore reared back and fired the fastball. Harmon Killebrew has headed downstairs. Remember, he'll be talking with Rod Carew at the end of the ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Salas. Carew getting number 3,000 back in the 3rd inning. It came at 1:47 Pacific time, or 3:47 in the Twin Cities, on a 1-1 pitch from Frank Viola. The 16th member of baseball's 3,000 hit club. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Chief while we wait for the paper there to flutter to the ground and get out of the Chief's line of vision. A little hot dog wrapper or something. Moore comes in. Salas grounds it foul down the first baseline. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Angels. 5 runs on 6 hits and 2 costly errors for the Twins. You could trace 4 of California's 6 runs to Minnesota errors. Minnesota failing to turn a double play back in the 4th inning. Washington charged with the error. That led to 3 runs as the Angels went ahead in the ball game at the time. And then Tuffel's error in the 8th inning. And Pettis was the man who scored to give the Angels the lead 6-5. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Salas. It has been John Candelaria for 5 innings, Stu Clyburn for 3, and now Donnie Moore here in the 9th inning for California. Frank Viola, Frank Euphemia, Pete Filson, and Ron Davis for the Twins. Salas hits it in the air, right center field. Pettis comes in, makes the catch. There's 1 out. So Salas is retired, and a fly ball to the center fielder Pettis. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman Gary Gaetti. Gaetti for the afternoon with 1 hit. A single his last time at bat in the 6th inning and an RBI for 3. Gary hitting .255 on the year, 12 homers and 47 runs batted in. 1 ball and no strikes to Gaetti. Twins have 6 hits, 1 by Puckett, 1 by Hatcher. Gaetti has the 1 we talked about, 2 by Tuffle and 1 by Dave Meyer. Hatcher has a double. All the rest of the hits have been singles. Three balls and no strikes to Gaetti. 41,630 on hand. At the old ball yard in this Sunday afternoon in Anaheim. Angels trying to win their 60th game of the year, which would put them 16 games over the 500 mark. Gaetti draws a 1-out walk. Now Gaetti goes to first as the tying run. And Randy Bush now will come on and bat for Tim Tuffle.
Eric Benson plays for the Twins. Batting for Tuffle, number 25.
Randy Bush hitting .217 on the year, but he has 9 homers and 25 runs batted in. Gaetti leads at first, and Moore will make a toss over to Carew. And we'll pause 5 seconds for station identification on this, the Minnesota Twins Baseball Network. Bob Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at the Big A. I'm upstairs here in the booth. Harmon is downstairs waiting to talk with Rod Carew should the Angels win it here in the top of the 9th. 1 ball and no strikes to Bush. Gaetti was throwing out, attempted to steal back in the 6th inning. That closed the 6th inning. Back at first here again in the 9th. Moore delivers inside to Bush, and the count goes 2-0. Donnie Moore has been absolutely sensational for the Angels this year. 7-4 with 20 saves. And an earned run average of 1.45. (3-0) to Randy Bush. A little bout with wildness has the Angels a little bit concerned about Donnie Moore here in the top of the 9th. Doug DeSense in for a word from third base. Bush had the green light on 3-0, pops it foul back behind the plate. 3 balls and a strike to Randy Bush. And Miller turning Bush loose on 3-0, perhaps in the hopes that Bush would park one into the right field seats, which he's well capable of. Twins, remember, won that game in Baltimore when Tom Brunansky hit a 3-0 pitch off Mike Boddicker. Turned a 1-0 Oriole apparent victory into a 2-1 Twins win the last trip to Baltimore. Here's a 3-1 pitch now to Bush. Popped up. Doug DeSense in from third base. Makes the catch. There's 2 gone. Gary Gaetti at first, 2 outs now. We'll wait and see who comes to the plate for the Twins. Mike Stenhouse has come out of a dugout and is swinging a bat. He will bat for Dave Meyer. As Ray Miller goes to his bench here in the 9th inning.
Batting for Meyer, number 33.
As the Twins try and avoid being swept in this 3-game series by the California Angels. The Twins so far are 1-4 on the trip, and have fallen deep into the 2nd division of the American League West. Stenhouse is a .238 hitter. 4 home runs for Mike this year and 11 runs batted in. Again, Harmon Killebrew will be talking with Rod Carew upon the conclusion of the ball game. Stenhouse hits it high, foul down the right field line. Got way out in front of that one. And sort of shook up the troops here in Anaheim. And it was DeSense that hit one out last night off Blyleven when it looked like the Twins were going to win. Stenhouse trying to return the favor, but a little bit out in front of it. 1 strike to Stenhouse. Change up missing. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Stenhouse. Now 2-1 to Stenhouse. Angels hold on and win. They would be the 6th club, the 5th club rather, to win 60 games this year. Los Angeles, St. Louis, the Mets so far in the National League, and Toronto, of course, leads everybody. The Blue Jays have won 67. Moore delivers 2-1 to Stenhouse. Down low, 3-1. Carew holds Gaetti at first base. 3-1 to Stenhouse with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Strike 2. So the count goes full on Stenhouse, which will enable Gaetti at first base to be off with the pitch. So if Stenhouse could hit it well to the outfield, perhaps Gaetti could score and tie the ball game, as he'll have the advantage of being able to be off with the pitch. There he goes, 3-2 pitch, ground ball. Could be trouble, charged by the shortstop Gerber. He has no play, and the Twins have runners at first and second with 2 outs in the 9th. Stenhouse hits it off the end of the bat, a little nubber toward shortstop. And the Twins still have life here in the 9th inning. Gerber charged from short, but when he gets there, he realizes he has no play and just holds on. And so the Twins will go back to the top of the order now, and the center fielder Kirby Puckett will bat.
Greg Gagne.
Greg Gagne has gone in. He will run for Stenhouse.
Center fielder Kirby Puckett.
So Gaetti at first, Gaetti at second, Gagne at first, and Kirby Puckett, who has 3 RBIs on the afternoon, will be the batter. One ball and no strikes to Puckett. He's lined to right in the first inning, knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly to left in the third, singled in a pair of runs in the fifth, and then struck out swinging in the seventh. Three RBIs have boosted Kirby's total this year now to 53. Pretty good figure for a leadoff man. And he's looking now at a 2-0 count, as Moore has struggled with his control in an attempt to rack up his 21st save of the year. Quisenberry with 21. Hernandez and Howell each have 21 saves. Quisenberry has 24. Moore is 4th in the American League with 20. 3-0 to Kirby Puckett. Roy Smalley due up next for the Twins, as Puckett looks down to third base coach Tom Kelly and sees what manager Ray Miller has in mind. And that's also going to bring Marcel Latchman out of the California dugout for a word with Donnie Moore. Latchman has had his say. DeCinces goes back to third base, and so we got a 3-0 count on Puckett. 6-5 Angels, top half of the ninth inning here in Anaheim. And a called strike to Puckett, 3-1. You hear me downstairs, Harmon?
I hear you, Bob. Do you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right.
Harmon standing by. He'll be talking with Rod Carew immediately upon the conclusion of the game. He'll keep it right here as Puckett draws the base on ball. So we should have some long faces down there, or at least some worried faces, Harmon, in that Angel dugout.
Well, they're a little concerned right now, of course, but they're still leading in this ball game.
So Moore has walked a couple here in the ninth inning, so you have the bases loaded now with 2 outs, and Roy Smalley comes up. And a look there at Gene Mauch, who looks out at his nephew Roy wearing the uniform of the Twins. Smalley fouls it off the mask of Boone, 1 strike. Eddie at third base. Gagne down at second base, and Puckett now aboard at first base as Moore faces big problems here in the top of the ninth. There's the throw back to third. It hits Gaetti. DeCinces can't find the ball, but it's right out in front. That thing had wound up in the left field corner. The Twins would have scored 2, maybe all of them.
I couldn't tell from down here, Bob, if that hit Gaetti or if it hit DeCinces.
It hit somebody, but from the Angels' point of view, they were fortunate because the ball stayed on the home plate side of the bag, and DeCinces was able to locate it. 2 balls and a strike now to Smalley. We're just struggling to find the plate. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Smalley as Moore turned loose the fastball. Moore primarily a fastball pitcher, rears back and blazes that one past Smalley. So now we come down to the 2-2 pitch. The bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Angels cling to a 6-5 lead. Ground ball right side, should be the ball game. Rich over to Carew, and the Angels have won it by a score of 6-5. For the California Angels, 6 runs on 9 hits and no errors for the Twins. 5 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Donnie Moore picking up his 21st save as Rod Carew will be talking with Harmon Killebrew very shortly. For the Angels, they have now won 60 and lost 44 on the year, while the Twins dropped 10 games under 500. Minnesota has now won 46 and lost 56. The Twins will fall 13 games behind the Angels. But from an Angel point of view, with their team they're keeping their eye on is the Kansas City Royals, and the Royals lost to Boston today. And so the Angels, whose lead had gone from a comfortable 6.5 games down to a game and a half over Kansas City, now find themselves with a 4-game lead over the Royals. Last we heard from Oakland, the A's were on top of Seattle by a score of 5-3 after 8 innings of play. Oakland also considers himself very much in the hunt. As we mentioned, I think a little while ago, the A's still 5 games behind the California Angels. So the Angels win it. They sweep the series. They win out here on Friday night by a score of 3-1. They beat the Twins last night 5-4 on the 9th inning home run by DeCinces. They win a thriller this afternoon 6-5 as Donnie Moore holds off the Minnesotans in the 9th inning, and Rod Carew picks up his 3,000th hit. So let's go down and meet Rod. With him, Harmon Killebrew.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. And Rod, what a thrill to see you get your 3,000th hit. I saw you get your first one, and to be here this afternoon was a very, well, it was a very touching thing for me, and I know it was for you.
Well, thanks very much, Harmon. I was very glad that you and Tonio were here to see it, and I'm just glad it's over with. And I'm very happy. I never thought I'd ever get 3,000 hits in my career, but I'm glad that's all over and done with. Now I can go home and get some sleep at night.
I liked what you said, Rod, that you were glad to do it here before the hometown fans so they could enjoy it also.
Oh, definitely. I had a chance to do it on the road. I didn't swing the bat well, and I was glad to come back home and do it. Also against the Twins, because that's where I got my first major league hit, and I'm sure that a lot of people back in the Twin Cities, probably enjoyed it as much as I did.
What was going through your mind when you were up there that first time?
Well, I just wanted to get it over with. He threw me a good pitch that I tried to pull and tapped it back. Then the base hit that I got was a good cut fastball away. And, I decided that I wasn't going to try and pull in more pitches. If I could just hit the ball to left field, and I might get a good chance of, dropping one in.
Rod, Gene Autry said that he'd like to see you not stop there. He'd like to see you get another 1,000 hits. What's in store for Rod Carew?
I don't know, Harmon. I'm on my last year of my contract, and hopefully, I'd like to play another year and see what happens. I'm just going to wait till the season ends and, talk to the Angels or whoever wants to talk to me. And I still enjoy the game, and that's the most important thing, and I'd like to continue playing.
Rod, I know there's a lot more people in there that want to talk to you. Congratulations on 3,000. I hope you get another 3,000.
Thanks very much, Harmon.
All right, we'll be back with more Twins baseball after this.
Back.
Bob Kurtz, Harmon Killebrew back here at the Big A in Anaheim. Again, the Angels have beaten the Twins 6-5. You saw Rod Carew get his 3,000th hit, and Harmon talk with Rod. Now we have a piece of Tom Seaver in New York, winning number 300 this afternoon as the White Sox turn back the New York Yankees 4-1.
Stand by. DBA. Quick wrap, then bye-bye.
So quite an afternoon in baseball here at Anaheim. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Angels, 5, 7, and 2 for the Twins. Winning pitchers Clyburn, he's 6 and 2. Moore, the save, is 21st of the year. Frank Euphemia takes a loss for the Twins. He has now won 3 and lost 2. And as we watch 3,000, we're going to say goodbye. We hope to see you tomorrow night, 9:30 game time at Twins against the Oakland A's from the Oakland Coliseum. For our director, Phil Martino, and my partner, Harmon Killebrew, good afternoon from Anaheim, California.